Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Greenfield City Council meeting, December 10th, 2024. Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor White,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez, Councilmember Martinez,
Here.
Councilmember Ortiz.
Excuse council member absences. This agenda item allows the City Council to excuse the absence of council members not present at the meeting. If all council members are present, the item will be skipped. Any public comments on the excused council member absences? I see a hand raised there. Is that something else you think, or?
It's been raised since the beginning of the meeting, so.
Okay. Any city council comments? I move to excuse her.
I second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you very much. I'm sure she's just running late. Invocation by Pastor Robert Muller.
Good evening, Mayor and council members and city attorney and city manager and everyone else. Let's pray. Father, we honor you and we glorify you and we exalt you and we thank you, Lord, for this night. We thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to gather together to do church, city business, Lord. We pray, Lord, for your wisdom, your leading, your guidance, and your direction. And may you continue to bless our city council, our mayor, our city, and all of the law enforcement, first responders, etc., Lord. Again, Lord, we pray for your guidance and your direction. And may your will be done. And we'll be sure and crown everything back to you, giving you all of the honor and the glory and the praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please stand for the pledge. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Agenda review.
No changes, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Public comments from the audience regarding items not on the agenda. This portion of the agenda allows an individual the opportunity to address the council on any items not on closed session, consent calendar, public hearings, and city council business. Under state regulations, no action can be taken on non-agenda items, including issues raised under this agenda item. Members of the public should be aware of this when addressing this council regarding items not specifically referenced on this agenda item. Do we have anybody who would like to make public comments?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, residents. My name is General Mixer. I'm the Chief of Police here in Greenfield. There's been a whole lot of talk about immigration and deportation with the new administration that's coming in, and wanted to talk to City Council and to our residents about how the police department is going to handle that, anything that comes down the pipeline. We did have a meeting today with the county supervisors. The Monterey County Immigration Rights Ad Hoc Committee had its first meeting today, and it's the community partners coming together to see how we're going to approach the situation if there's any changes. One thing that was noted that's very important is that there's a lot of fear out there that is not warranted so far. People are kind of getting ahead of themselves and anticipating the worst when the highest probability that it's not going to be that bad. With that being said, we will enforce the laws as necessary, as dictated by our state and by the federal government. We do not ask, collect, or disseminate immigration information from anybody. We do not do that. We work with our federal partners, FBI, ATF, HSI, DEA, and we work with them well. And being able to bring those resources for crime fighting and preemptive operations to prevent crime, that's our key motivation. Not to deport people, not to collect information, immigration information, and certainly not to assist ICE in deportation of people. With that being said, there are exceptions to that. Felonies that are committed, murder, domestic violence, sexual assault, those people will face the fullest extent of the federal and state law. So I just want to let the public know, our city council know that we're going to uphold the law. The state of California has very robust laws in place. 2018, they passed Senate Bill 54. We don't share information. We don't share immigration information. We don't make a practice of it. And so we really don't see it affecting Greenfield. Most likely higher population areas, Oakland, Sacramento, LA, Chicago, other places besides us. We're small fish, and it's not really going to affect us the way some people are anticipating. So we want to lead with power, not with panic. We want to try and calm our residents as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. Jesus Perez, Greenfield Recreation Manager here. I wanted to just take the time to thank everybody who joined us for our 2024 Holiday Park Celebration and Parade this last Friday. This event is produced by the Recreation Department. However, it takes a lot of our departments here to make this possible. So I do want to thank our Public Works Department. I want to thank our Police Department. I want to thank our Fire Department. And I also want to thank the Greenfield Community Science Workshop, because without them, this isn't possible. And they ensure that this event could be a success year after year. I also want to thank our event sponsors, Oak Avenue Mini Mart, Tienda La Michoacana, A&G Pumping, and we also want to thank the Greenfield Union School District, because they always help to raise the quality of our parade, and they've been one of our partners since we first brought back a parade here in Greenfield. And I also want to thank any volunteers that attended as well. We have some of our volunteers here who help MC. Stephanie Garcia, thank you so much. I know Cynthia Zavala was there as well, supporting. Thank you. And I also wanted to just, let everyone know that every year we're going to do our best to, raise the bar and keep ensuring that we can have a safe, fun, amazing event. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Bob Urquidez. I want to bring up, there was a couple ordinance, one in San Francisco and one in Salinas on parking. They passed the ordinance saying that they can't be parked no closer than 20 feet from the curb, from the corner. I think we need to look into that and see what we can do, because there's so many, and I've been throughout this city, there's so many people parking on the curb that it's going to cause accidents. So that's why I wanted to bring it up. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, good evening. My name is Alexia Rangel. I am here to give thanks to our council member, Yaneli Martinez, to all she has done for our community. The years she has served has been great for our community. She has been an inspiration for all young women like myself. She is always looking out for everyone. I wish you and your family blessings. We will miss you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is David Kong. Do I need to say where I live or anything like that, or no? Okay. People know where I live, most of them. I wanted to thank Councilmember Elaine Martinez for the many years of service on the City Council. Also for Chief Langford for his service on the serving the City of Greenfield as the Fire Chief, and as a member of the Greenfield Public Recreation District. Chief Langford really helped us out with many issues that dealt with the park and other things. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Ana Velasquez, and I'm the mayor for the city of Soledad. So I'm here, and I hope this is, I know you have it on the, later on the agenda, but is this appropriate time?
Yeah, it's fine, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I'm here to congratulate the incoming council members, but also to bid farewell to Councilwoman Martinez. And I speak on behalf and also on my behalf and also on behalf of Mayor Marianne Carbone, who was not able to be here, but wanted to make sure that I related some sentiments in terms of the dedication that Councilwoman Martinez has dedicated to the people of Greenfield. We know that as public servants, sometimes the road is a little bumpy. It can get a little challenging. But I think at the end of the day, we appreciate the service of Councilwoman Martinez for her dedication to the community of Greenfield. I had the honor to serve with her on the MST board, and her advocacy for her community cannot be disputed. She was always advocating for her residents, always advocating for the best for her residents. And so we just want to make sure that we provide the proper thank yous for your public service. Public service isn't for everyone, and I think we know that, those who serve in the public. And it really does take, it takes a lot of will, a lot of commitment, and a lot of dedication to be in the dais and do what we do as public servants. So with that, I just want to say thank you, Councilwoman Martinez, for your dedication to the residents of Greenfield, for the dedication to the residents of South Monterey County. And we wish you farewell in your next journey, that I know you will continue to be an advocate for all of our residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Ana.
Now we have some flowers. So I have some flowers.
Any other public comments from the audience? If not, I do see a few hands raised therein. Come on up.
Waiting for everybody to go through. I just want to talk about Thanksgiving, that dinner. That it was awesome. It turned out great. And thank you, Rachel, for involving me into it and stuff. But it turned out great, and I hopefully that everybody knows about it, and next year will be bigger and better. So thank you, Rachel, for involving me into it. And thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Let's start yet, Ann. So I want to also thank Councilwoman Martinez. I know not everything's been easy, but I admire your advocacy for your causes. I really do. And I enjoyed that Watsonville movie premiere. It was great. I want to extend my congratulations to the new council. I truly wish you all the best. And one thing that I've definitely learned over the years living in Greenfield is how to lose. Losing here was taught during my son's early Little League years when my husband was coaching a minors team, the Rangers. I think we only won 2 out of a dozen games that season. And every game, the kids kept showing up, playing their best, managing to keep a positive attitude despite the outcome of the games. At the end of every loss, Coach would ask them, "So, what did we learn?" Since then, I've always equated losing with learning, and this election was no different. I learned a lot. I'm grateful for the experience and intend to be fully supportive of Councilwoman Belen Garcia as she completes our district's first term, because honestly, if I hadn't run, I would have voted for her as well. After finally meeting her, and especially after reading somewhere that you and I share the same favorite childhood book, The Boxcar Children. As soon as I read that, I was like, we're gonna be all right. So next to Day of Thanks, wow, what a great event. The smiles were endless throughout the day, and I'm grateful for that experience as well. I'd like to share the names of the many, many volunteers, and I hope not to go over the 3 minutes, but I beg your mercy if I do. So the sponsors were City of Greenfield, Greenfield Fire and Police, Greenfield American Legion Post 635, the Madrecita Foundation, Gonzalez American Legion, Ascona Harvesting, Bob White Real Estate Agency, Swartz and Kennedy Law, North American Seed, Naveria Maru, Grocery Outlet, Jose Chavez, Cynthia Zavala, El Tamalazo, Rancho San Miguel, Food Bank of Monterey County, Ocean Mist, Taurus Selection. So that was the contributors, but the volunteers really made the event. Oh, God, I'm going to run out of time. So the Fighting Bruins Cadet Corps of Greenfield High School, Luis Velasco Martinez, Yuridia Marino, Alexis Garcia Calixto, Antonio Villanueva, Neymar Hernandez, Sandra De Jesus, Misael Najera, Saul Aviles, Noe Guillen, Jocelyn Sanchez, Alexander Oliveira, Michaela Martinez, Victor Rosso. Are you going to let me go over?
Yes, you can go over.
Thank you. Working the kitchen line were Ariana Santos, Angelino Bautista, Esmeralda Garcia de Jesus, Yarel Herrera Lopez, Brandon Mejia, Gerardo Perez, Esmeralda Lorenzo, Misraim Marino, Samuel de Jesus, Isabella Quintero, Alexander Celestino, Robinson Perez, Christopher Ramirez, Basilio, Terry Childers, Camila Sanchez. The runners and floaters, Anais Alvarez Garcia, Alex Bautista, Jocelyn Sanchez Ramirez, Yuri Ramirez, Priscilla Zavala, and my favorite was Miss Camila Barranco. She was so cute. From 4-H, we had Matthew Perea, Juan Perea, Sarah Perea, Brando Montoya, Erica Alvarez, Jorge Ortiz, Santiago Ortiz, Sebastian Pizano, Camila Pizano, Jayla Navarro, Gabriel Gonzalez, Michelle Manduajano, Yesenia Perea, Armando Perea, Lydia Perea, and Rosa Manriquez. And individual volunteers were Destiny Obas, Randy Teniyuki, Raul Rodriguez, Fabiola Morales, Andrew Otera, Emily Acosta, Irene Gomez, Anna and Fred Valdez, and Narda Pacaton, and the committee members. This was all spearheaded by Councilwoman Rachel Ortiz, Carlos Venegas, Commander Marcel Martins, myself, Cynthia Zavala, Dorothy Jones, who you just heard from, Jose Chavez, Gabby Morales, Kayla Campbell, Juan from the city, Lydia Perea, oh, I said those guys, and Aaron Chavez. Anyways, we all really came together and made an outstanding event, and we hope to continue it. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yo lo voy a hacer en español, no sé si me van a entender. Bueno, mi nombre es Jesús Estrada, buenas tardes a todos. Yo estoy aquí como trabajador con Centro de Abogacía de la Comunidad, vengo de Salinas y trabajo mucho con la comunidad de aquí de Greenfield. Okay. Bueno, mi nombre es Jesús Estrada, estoy trabajando con Centro de Abogacía de la Comunidad.
My name is Jesus Estrada. I'm working with the
Centro de Abogacía, CCA.
Advocacy.
Estoy trabajando mucho con la comunidad aquí en Greenfield.
I'm working a lot with the community here in Greenfield.
Y hoy vengo a agradecer por el apoyo de la concejal todavía, de Yaneli Martínez.
I come here to say thank you to the council member
Martínez.
Martinez.
Gracias por su apoyo a la comunidad, sobre
Thank
todo
you for your support to the community.
aquí en Greenfield. Estamos muy agradecidos y le deseo lo mejor.
We're very thankful and we wish you the best.
Hola, buenas noches.
Hello, good evening.
Mi nombre es Edido Ochoa y soy residente de acá de Greenfield.
My name is Siri Ochoa and I'm a resident of Greenfield.
Y también soy parte del equipo de CCA.
And I'm also part of the CCA team.
Y el motivo de estar aquí es para darle las gracias a la concejal Yaneli Martínez.
And the reason why I'm here is because I want to thank Yelena Martinez.
Vengo en representación de la comunidad que no pudo estar aquí. Algunos se enfermaron, otros simplemente no pudieron.
I'm here because some of the people in the community couldn't make it here because some of them got sick and some of them couldn't just make it.
Pero quiero expresar mi agradecimiento por el gran trabajo que hizo hacia su comunidad.
But I just want to express myself and be thankful for the great job that you did in the community.
Y quiero que sepa que pido a Dios por ella y por su familia, y que le deseo lo mejor.
And I want you to know that I ask God for you and your family, and I wish you the best.
Gracias por tu entrega y dedicación.
Thank you for your dedication and all your work, hard work.
Thank you for your comments.
Hi, my name is Anthony Gallardo, and I just want to thank Ms. Yaneli Martinez for the work she's done for the community and also for me.
Hello, my name is Noemi Chico, and I am here to bid farewell to our wonderful council member, Yaneli Martinez. Yaneli has been a strong woman that has helped our community these past years. She has given so much of her time to make an impact on young and old. She has helped in Greenfield Library, has gone to community members' homes with Santa and his helpers, informed us about preparing for emergencies with the fire department, promoting MST bus use, celebrating women in Greenfield, has voted for issues for the betterment of the community. One issue is the grant we all helped obtain for the community park/center on 12th and Apple Avenue. So all the other council members, we are still waiting for you all to start because it should have been done already like many other cities have done. Yaneli has been an advocate to have interpreters for Spanish and indigenous languages. She has been an advocate for our youth and for helping Alzheimer's awareness and environmental issues that affect our communities. And the list goes on and on. I am here on behalf of my family to say that we thank you and we are blessed to have you and your family serve our city of Greenfield. You will be missed. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Cynthia Zavala. I just want to thank Councilmember Ortiz for organizing Day of Thanks. I was part of it, and it was a great outcome. Mayor, thank you for attending. Captain Paredes was also there. So all the volunteers, I think we made a really, really good impact in our community. I hope next year is double the people that we get to serve a nice warm meal for Thanksgiving. Also, I wanted to thank Councilmember Martinez for your 8 years of service to our community. I really thank you. I know that bigger, better things are coming your way. And I also want to congratulate Councilmember Rodriguez and the new council members, Belen Garcia and Marcy Jones. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Let's go online.
Adriana Serrato.
Adriana, go ahead.
Yes. Hi. I truly hope that the new council members will be provided with the training and guidance needed to act with professionalism, integrity, and accountability. You must never be afraid to stand up for what is right. You have an opportunity here, an opportunity to be a new kind of leader, one that is rooted in integrity and accountability and justice. You have a responsibility to hold the trust of the people who elected you. You have a duty to be professionals, to stand tall in the face of challenges, and to refuse to be intimidated or manipulated by anyone or any organization. We need leaders who understand their power is not a tool for personal gain, not like Ms. Martinez used, a responsibility to serve the community with dignity and respect. We need leaders who will take accountability for their actions, even when it's uncomfortable. So to the new council members, I urge you to do the work. Hold yourself and each other accountable. Do not let the shadows of silence in inaction continue to tarnish this council reputation. Your leadership is needed now more than ever, and it is time to stand up, speak out, and do the right thing for the people of Greenfield. And let's not forget that Ms. Martinez, councilwoman, supported a child rapist by writing a letter in support of him. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you for your comments.
Buenas noches a todos. Mi nombre es Luis Torres. Nomás quiero agradecer a la concejal Martínez por todo el trabajo que ha hecho y que sigue haciendo.
Luis, can you hold up this for a second?
Mi nombre es Luis Torres.
My name is Luis Torres.
A los concejales y al alcalde.
To all the council members and the mayor.
Nomás quiero agradecer aquí a la concejal Martínez por todo el trabajo que ha hecho por los 8 años.
I want to thank Martinez for all the hard work that they've been doing for the last 8 years.
Especialmente para motivar a más jóvenes que sean liderazgos.
Especially to motivate young people so they can be leaders.
Que el día de mañana triunfen.
So that tomorrow they will triumph.
Hagan sus metas.
They will achieve their goals.
Pero sobre todo que hagan un cambio.
But the most part that they can make a change.
Porque es tiempo de triunfar.
It is time to triumph.
Y gracias por todos estos años.
And thank you for all these years.
Felicidades, esto no es todo, te lo mereces y mucho más.
Yeah, you deserve it. Congratulations, and you do more.
Hola. I'm going to try in English, but I think I can better express in Spanish. Mi nombre es Juan Manuel Morán.
My name is Juan Manuel Morán.
Y conozco a Yaneli desde que estaba en la high school.
I know Janelle since she was in high school.
Y siempre anduvo con nosotros haciendo y tratando de ayudar a la comunidad.
Always she was with us and tried to help the community.
Y pocos, no quiero ofender a nadie, pero pocos de los concilios, de los miembros de los concilios que he estado aquí, he mirado lo que ha hecho ella, siempre tratando de ayudar. Hemos luchado juntos por mucho tiempo contra los pesticidas, tratar de ayudar.
So I don't want to offend anybody here, but we have been working a lot in the community. We have been working with the pesticides.
Y poca gente aquí en el concilio he mirado como ella, todo el trabajo y siempre tratando de ayudar a la comunidad aquí en Greenfield, no nomás en Greenfield.
Okay, and she's always been helping the community in Greenfield, not just Greenfield.
Porque hemos estado luchando por mucho tiempo contra los pesticidas en Salinas, por todo el condado de Monterrey y en otros condados, y así es de que muy orgulloso de ser tu amigo.
Okay, so we've been fighting against pesticides, not only in Salinas, but also in the whole Monterey County, and I'm very proud to be not only your friend.
Y siempre contarás con mi ayuda y ojalá que donde quiera que vayas te vaya bien y sabes que cuentas conmigo. Gracias.
So you always can count on me, and wherever you go, you know that everything is going to be fine.
Hello, everyone. My name is Santiago Torres. I came here to thank Yaneli Martinez for the beautiful and amazing work she's done as a council member for the community, and most importantly, for the youth. I hope leaving this chapter, it doesn't go out with tears, but with joy, knowing that she left such a beautiful legacy for the youth, all the workshops she's done. One thing I'm definitely never gonna forget is all the smiles she's put on all the youth's faces. And I know sadly, there's always gonna be cowards and haters out there, like we just witnessed, but I just hope that they know that at least I hope they educate themselves before they open their mouth to see the beautiful work she's done aside of the council. And I just want you to know that you're a strong woman for putting up with BS like that, and that you'll be truly missed. Thank you.
My name is Hugo Celio, and I'm here to thank Yaneli Martinez for all the things she has done for our community.
My name is Miguel Corrales, and I came to thank Yaneli Martinez, a council member who has done such a great job. And I had always had a great time spending time with you and your family.
Hi, my name is Camila Torres, and I'm here to thank Yaneli Martinez for all what she's done. She's always been putting smiles on everyone's faces when she walks in, and I love her so much, not only as a council member, but as a mother. And remember to never listen to anyone who says BS, and never fill your head with anything like that, because you're a smart person and a strong woman.
Hello, my name, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Africa Torres Martinez, and today is such a sad day because we are losing a strong fighter that's been in the council for 8 years, and her name is Councilmember Martinez. Not as a mom, but also as a council member, she puts a smile on my face every single day. When I come home, she always greets me with a smile, and she always asks me how my day was. And I always say good, because I know as a mother and a councilwoman, she'll always put a smile on someone's face no matter what they're going through. Thank you.
Thank you.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Margarita Hernández y yo solo quiero venir a decirle a Nelly que la aprecio mucho, que es una mujer muy valiente, que hizo mucho en estos años que estuvo de concejal, y que Dios la bendiga y que siempre recuerde que si Dios con ella, ¿quién contra ella? Dije mucho, ¿verdad? Yo lo puedo decir. No lo mismo, pero. I just want to say that she's a wonderful person and that I learned a lot from her. Thank you, Nelly. You worked so hard for the community, and you're going to be missed. We love you, and I just want to be here so you know that we're here for you.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Torres, and I want to thank Yaneli Martinez for all her years of service. I'm so glad that I convinced you to run for city council because you've been such a great person. I love you, and I will miss you seeing you up there. But you know, you did a great, great, wonderful job. So you take care of yourself and keep busy.
Thank you very much.
Buenas noches. ¿Sí hay traducción? Disculpe. Sí, muy buenas noches.
Good evening.
Mi respeto para todos ustedes como padres del pueblo, padre o madre.
My respect for everyone, as you are like a father or mother to the town.
Para mí es un honor estar con ustedes hoy en este día.
So for me, it's an honor to be here with you guys today.
Y no he estado más tiempo con ustedes, pero gracias a Analegui que nos ha dado oportunidad de estar otra vez aquí con ustedes.
Thank you to Yana Lady, for giving us the opportunity to be here with you guys.
Y ella, pues lo que estoy viendo, no traigo flores para regalar, pero lo que estoy viendo a ella es están sembrando la vida, sembrando vida.
Okay. I didn't bring any flowers for her, but I know that she is cultivating like life.
Estoy viendo muchos jóvenes apoyando a ellas, es lo más importante, el futuro para nuestro pueblo.
I see a lot of young people supporting her. That's the most important thing for our future here in this town.
Muchas gracias a todos ustedes y gracias al pueblo Greenfield por aceptar a nosotros aquí en Greenfield.
So thank you to everyone and thank you to all the people in Greenfield for accepting us here in Greenfield.
Gracias, muchas gracias. Gracias a nadie.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor, Council Ortiz, Council Rodriguez, and City Manager Wolf. And also, I just want to say congratulations to Ariana, to Belen, and to Marcy. So, congratulations. Welcome to a new journey here in our community. Hoping to working together so we could make a difference in our community. And I just want to say thank you to my sister. Just want to say thank you for the hard work that you have done for our community. It has not been easy. It's a hard job that you have to be doing, advocating for the community. And sometimes we don't get enough pay for that, but I think being there, having the advocating for our community, what we want the best, and leaving a legacy, I think that's what it matters. I think it has not been easy giving this 8 years. I know what's already hard for you, but I know for her that you have been planting a seed, and a lot of people, a lot of women, young adults that are gonna follow the steps. And here, I think we'll continue. So thank you for the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of my brothers, and my mom that is in Harvard, my dad that is here. So I just want to say thank you. Y si se puede, and Latino Power. Thank you. Farewell.
Thank you for your comments.
Good evening, Council. Good evening, everybody. My name is Victor Torres, and I am here today not only as a member of Greenfield, as a co-founder of a youth-led organization that started here in Greenfield along with these wonderful people behind me named Future Leaders of Change, but also as a son, and here to thank Yanely Martinez, Councilmember Martinez, for 8 years of tireless service to the community. And speaking as a resident of Greenfield, I can attest to the legacy that you have built here in Greenfield, whether it's at Magnolia, where my grandfather lives, and how many people came to Councilmember Martinez asking whether it was for bus route support or whether it was for infrastructure around them, to the many students, including myself, behind me and in the community of Greenfield, who looked to Councilmember Martinez as a role model, an exceptional role model, who put herself in the community no matter what. And to attest to what my younger siblings had just said earlier, put a smile on someone's face regardless of what they felt, working tirelessly to put herself before others, working tirelessly to put others before herself, putting her own health, physical and mental, both as less than a priority. And in many times, and speaking personally from here, in my experience, seeing the stuff that she has not only dealt with personally, but also at professional level, it pains me a lot. But at the same time, I see it as an exceptional role model, a strong character, a strong leader who, no matter what is thrown at them, they still work tirelessly to put their community first, put their constituents first, and work to really build a better future, and who really embodies the definition of what a leader should be. So on behalf of future leaders of change, myself and everybody else in this community, thank you, Councilmember Martinez. And before I end my little speech here, I would like to present a certificate of appreciation on behalf of future leaders of change in recognition of your outstanding dedication, commitment, and service to the community of Greenfield, California. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Next speaker would be iPhone ending in 4058.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Mayor, before my time starts, I'd like to ask a question. I know that there's an item J3, selection of mayor pro tem. Will there be any public comment? Because I don't see that, and I believe we had it on the last choice of the selection.
I believe it's just city council comments, B.
Well, I'm asking if it's okay. I don't want to go ahead and miss the opportunity to go ahead and, and miss that question, or I can add it on my comment right now. And I don't want to be stopped.
Okay. We can go ahead and make public comments on that item.
Okay, thank you. Now I will begin my comment. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and everyone present. Pray everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. I heard it was a great success. Thank you to all the participants, and hope you all enjoy the Christmas in the park. I would also like to congratulate the 3 new elected council members, Ariana, Marcy, Belen. Welcome. Mayor White and Mr. Wood, let's start the new year in the right direction. Transparency, a must follow. Please keep the pro tem sitting as it has been for many, many years. It's easier for us residents to understand who the pro tem is. If Councilmember Ortiz isn't able to get along with other council members, which has not been the case, then she should step down instead of throwing her temper tantrums and getting her way. Shame on who allowed the change of sitting, and shame for not informing the mayor pro tem, Ariana, of the change. By the way, Councilmember Ortiz, I seen on social media you purchased a home and moved. Then you need to step down. Just because you own a home in the district, and doesn't mean that you can continue to serve your district. Just like when you voted during an election, during your election means you cannot continue just because you're a homeowner. It doesn't work that way. Your residents should be investigated. Councilmember Martinez, I am sorry that I wasn't able to be there. I'm out of state. Councilmember Martinez, as you hand your seat to the new council member coming in, I would like to thank you for your years of service. Let me say that it's easy to overlook the impact you had on others. But the truth is, your influence was far-reaching. You made a profound difference in our city and the lives of those that believed and had trust in you, touching hearts and inspiring minds in ways you may not even realize. Your hard work and decision-making and much more for our city made a world of difference to our city and residents. There is so much I could say, but remember, I only have 3 minutes. Keep shining your light and making a difference in the world. We will miss you. Who knows, you might surprise us one day by running for county office, and who knows, maybe for the state office. I and others will be here to support you all the way. Lastly, I would like to thank your husband, Luis, children, Victor, Santiago, Camila in Africa, because I know it wasn't easy to serve as council member, especially with young children. But they stood by your side and supported you all the way. Thank you for allowing me to finish on my comment.
Thank you.
Gabby?
Good evening, council members. I would like to say that I had the honor of attending the Day of Thanks event, and I want to congratulate the city, our community members, and Councilwoman Ortiz for organizing such a heartfelt event. It was well executed. The event demonstrated what is possible when leadership comes together with a community spirit. I hope it serves as an inspiration to all of us, especially council members, of the impact we can have when we lead with purpose. I'd also like to extend a warm welcome to our new councils. With this new leadership of Trump, we know change is inevitable, and it will touch all of us in one way or another. But with limited resources, the work ahead of us is so important. In particular, I'm encouraged to know that Councilwoman Belen, Marcy, and Rodriguez come from educational backgrounds. With the ongoing threats to our Department of Education, your leadership will be crucial. Our children and the community are counting on you to fight for resources, to stand firm in the defense of education, and ensure Greenfield has the support it needs by creating events and providing resources. I also want to acknowledge that Councilwoman Rodriguez has been vocal on social media, and I hope that you will use your power and your platform to advocate for what is right. We need people to speak out in support of fairness, transparency, accountability, especially when it comes to following the rules. This goes for every council member. Mayor, we are watching. Many of us are deeply disappointed by the silence when Councilwoman Martinez violated your own code of conduct. Councilwoman Martinez, you've done a great work for Greenfield. Your actions have been tarnished by the abuse of power. To this day, you have not publicly apologized for using your title to take advantage of a community member. The silence and lack of accountability around this issue speaks volumes. I fear that those around you, your mentors, your advisors, the leaders in your life have failed to guide you and hold you accountable for the financial and emotional harm you've caused. Or perhaps simply you don't feel the need to make things right. How can you claim to be a community organizer and activist if you don't take responsibility for your actions? I recently saw a social media post where you and others used your same old tactics to intimidate a community member simply because they had a difference of opinion. You attempted to destroy their livelihood by tagging their employer, all because you couldn't tolerate a difference of opinion. This is not activism. This is not community leadership. This is abuse of power. This is not the behavior of a social justice activist. This is not how we uplift our community. This is how we tear it down. And I also like to say that, when people come out here and speak out, they're not cowards. It takes courage to say the truth. Councilwoman Martinez has defended that letter of support with a child rapist.
Daniel?
Yes.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Yes, can you hear me?
Barely. You're really faint.
Okay, I'll try to speak as loud as I can. Thank you, council members and mayor. My name is Daniel Morta. I am a Hartnell College student and resident of Greenfield, California. I live, work, play, and study in this great city, and I wanted to just take an opportunity to welcome the new incomers who are coming into the council, and farewell to those who are leaving. I look forward to working with all of you to help uplift our community and support our efforts to help bridge technology and equity gaps as well as accessibility. I have a lot of fun and I enjoy working on my science and sharing it with the community. And I look forward to engaging with this council. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
That was it.
Thank you. And we've seen public comments. All right. I'll come back to comments from City Council.
Oh my God, what a night. I hope all of you guys could hear me out there. ¿Me escuchan todos? Yeah. Even though I'm pretty loud. To the community members that continue up until my last meeting to throw all the dirt that they want. I just hope that you find peace one day in your heart, because I have found peace. I know who I am. The only person that I need to apologize are basically my children that have put up with so much BS, harassment from community members. I only apologize to you, Victor, Santiago, Camila, and Africa. Sorry for bringing you into this world of politics where you no longer have a private life. And sadly, it's not just us, the elected officials, it's also our families. I'm happy that I'm gonna gain a little bit of that back. So my only apology goes to you, my kids, because you guys have seen every single struggle. And if I need to apologize, it's only to you, nobody else. And it's been a very emotional night. So bear with me. I really just want to give a big shout out, because when I became a councilwoman, I hate to write speeches, but tonight I had to write one because I wasn't going to be able to remember certain things. But out of my speech, I do really want to just go ahead and ask my amazing youth, the future leaders of change, and all the youth in the audience that I have touched in one way or another. If you guys could please stand up so we could give you guys a big round of applause, because you guys are the next generation of leaders. That includes you too, Michaela. I'm watching you. I'm just happy because I had the vision of one day having a youth city council. We have 2 commissioners, but never in my wildest dreams did I think that this dream of mine of having a youth group was gonna make the future leaders of change, not just in Greenfield, but Watsonville, and now in Salinas. I am so proud of all of the work that you guys are doing. You guys are going after grants, you guys are getting films, and my only hope is that one day you guys have seen everything that I put up with, and I've done it because of you guys. To teaching you guys that we could put up with all the negativity and hate and attacks, and I want to see all of you one day taking up these seats as the next mayor of Greenfield, as the next council member of Greenfield, because I know it's going to happen when we see an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old being here in this seat. So Victor, Michaela, Hugo, Miguel, Alexia, Santiago, Africa, Camila, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope I'm not missing any of you back there. But de mi corazón, gracias, jóvenes. And now I go into my speech. I think it's only right that I say it as I still remain a councilwoman, because I know we do have a proclamation coming up, and I am going to be stepping down, but I need to give my comment as a councilwoman. So here it goes. And if I cry, I'm sorry. As I come to the end of my time on the Greenfield City Council, I want to express my gratitude from the bottom of my heart to the residents of Greenfield for the opportunity to serve this incredible community, the heart of the valley. My God, I'm not even going to be able to read. These past 8 years have been transformative for our city, marked by challenges, major projects, and collective accomplishments that I am proud to have been a part of. Since being elected in 2016, as I complete my 2 terms of office, I do so with so much pride in what we have accomplished, colleagues, and what I accomplished personally. Being in this seat, I learned that I am so much stronger than what I thought I was. I wasn't weak, I never gave up, and I continue to stand here and sit here with my head held high. I learned firsthand how you can make a difference in people's lives by just being present and involved. I learned that the beauty and strength of our city comes from the people who live here and that are so passionate to make a difference, like all of you here, every single one of you. You guys are truly the heart of the valley. Greenfield's future looks bright, and while my role is changing, my commitment to this community will never. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to serve. Until we meet again, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And to my family, Luis, Victor, Santiago, Camila, and Africa, thank you for being so understanding and always being the reason why I kept going, especially during the hardest times of my life. I love you all. To my friends and family, thank you for never leaving my side. Love truly. Yours, Greenfield City Councilwoman Martinez.
Councilwoman Ortiz.
Good evening, everyone. I'll first talk about, I know it's coming up later, but I'd still like to say something to Councilmember Martinez. I admire the work that you've done with the youth. And to me, that's probably the one thing that I'm always going to remember about you. People came up and they talk about the Day of Thanks, but that's just a seed planted, and then the people that are involved in it, they make that grow. They water it and they make it grow. I want you to know that what you've done with the youth in this community, you planted that seed, and now they're growing and they're doing their part. So nothing that you've done is, was not worth it. Everything you've done has just been amazing, with the youth. So I want you to know that, and I do mean that from the bottom of my heart. Also, the only thing that I can take away from all your years, your 8 years here, is that I know that you worked with the seniors, and I know that dementia and Alzheimer's is very important to you, as it is to me. And I want to make you a little promise, that I'm going to make sure that our community, our seniors are afflicted with these terrible disease, get the help that they need, get resources, and bring more awareness to the city of Greenfield. So that's a promise I'm going to keep to you. Get my thoughts together here. I want to thank everybody that helped with the Day of Thanks. It was a really nice event, and people come up and they say something about me, putting this on, but again, like I just said to Councilmember Martinez, it's a seed that you plant, and then it's the people that are around you that water that, and then they make it grow. And that's what happened. I just came up with an idea, and before you know it, we had this team together that I don't even know where everybody came from, and they're the ones that did that. It's the youth that did it. We had probably almost 85 members of the youth here in Greenfield. They were the cadets, the 4-H, the Bruins football team, and many others. And those are the kids that did it. Honest to God, we would have not had the event if it hadn't been for those children. They did everything. They peeled 450 pounds of potatoes. I can't even do like 4 for breakfast. 450 pounds is crazy. But I just want to make sure that we focus on that. This is something for the community, and it's done by the community and the businesses to show their appreciation for the people who do business at their stores and anything else. So, this isn't about me. It was about the community, and that's all. That's really the end story right there. I wanted to talk a little bit about, I noticed I went to the back and there was these pamphlets, and I hope that you all pick one up and go home and you read it. It's from the YMCA, and it's regarding domestic violence. Right now with, I think Chief can attest to this, that right now during the holidays, the statistics go up a lot. We have a lot of problems with alcohol, domestic violence. And I had talked to City Manager Wood about this the other day, and I told him that, I really do want to hold a seminar here after the first of the year, and to bring more awareness into this ongoing problem. A lot of people think that that it's just poor people that suffer domestic violence, women who don't have jobs, who are home raising kids. And a lot of times it's professional people that are going through this too. There was a article in the newspaper the other day that a big majority of health officials are suffering from domestic violence. This is not people cleaning the rooms, this is people, doctors, this is nurses. So this is something that's very important to me, along with the Alzheimer and dementia. And I just want the community to know that my goal in the next 2 years is to just bring more awareness and to bring as much services as we can to the community. And lastly, the Christmas event. I got to ride in the Tesla, so I was really excited about that. It went a little bit faster than I thought, and but it was great. It was a lot of fun. The Christmas event was great, and it seems like it's growing every year. But I forecast snow for next year, City Manager Wood, so just putting it out there right now. And this is our last meeting of the year, so I wanted to make sure to thank City Manager Wood for keeping us fiscally and financially on track. To Chief Mixer, and Chief Lamborg isn't here, but thank you for keeping us safe. Is he there? Oh, way back there. Thank you for keeping us safe. Hopefully we close out this year on a good note. I don't want to jinx us, knock on wood. But you guys have done an amazing job hiring staff, and through the Christmas event and the Thanksgiving event and other things that have happened in town, your staff has been on board for everything. There wasn't anything that we couldn't ask of them that they wouldn't do, and they did it with a smile on their face and very engaged in the community. And that's another thing, is that it's been a long time since the City of Greenfield community has been engaged with each other and doing things, and you can tell by the amount of people that showed up at the Christmas event. And that's partly because of all of you and the job that you do. To all the city staff, Jamie, Ann, thank you for everything. I know you get tired of my emails, but you know what? It's okay. And to Jennifer, I know we're not the easiest bunch, but thank you for your patience with us and keeping us on track. And lastly, there was a comment made earlier about my living and where do I live at. For transparency, I will be transparent. I do have a place in Hanford, California, and it was a home that I purchased for my grandchildren. And I do visit quite often. That's where I go. That's my getaway. My kids live in the other valley, and that's where I spend a lot of time. I have a 4-year-old great-granddaughter that I spend enormous amount of time. If anybody wants to look on my Facebook, all you're going to do is see a bunch of pictures of my grandbaby on there, and that's okay. Anybody who has questions about where I live, why I'm sitting here, what my disability is, you can always contact me here to the city. You can sit down and have a conversation with me. I have no problem talking to anybody. I am an open book. I have nothing to hide. So just come and talk to me. That's all it is. You can accomplish so much by just having a conversation face to face. And the other thing I want to mention, and I won't ever mention this again, is that I'm so proud of the people that ran for office this year, because you guys did really good, clean campaign. There have been some council members who have been on the receiving end of some pretty bad campaigns. And you guys did a really amazing job this year of keeping it clean. Unfortunately, not anything to do with you guys, but one of our candidates was subjected to phone calls to her work to have her terminated. That's not right. I'm only going to be here for 2 more years. In those 2 years, next year, I'm hoping that I can find somebody on my district who's willing to step up. I don't care what their politics is, but I care is that they're engaged with the community, and that's all I care about. It's not right to do that to somebody's livelihood. It's not right to do that to somebody who all they want to do is make a difference in their community. And, they take a chance, they run. You know what? The gals who ran against the ladies who are our new council members, don't be sworn in, they are my friends. And I'm proud that they're my friends. But they didn't win. And guess what? Life goes on, and we carry on, and we keep on going, and we'll have a couple of glasses of wine down the road. You know what? But that's just the way it goes. There's going to be people who win, there's going to be people who don't win. I'm not going to call them losers, because everybody who takes the chance to run are winners, and that's all. That's all I have to say about that. But to call somebody's work, to try to get them terminated, to make up lies, which another council member has also had happen to her, it's not right. The person who's doing that, you're making it hard for other people to step up. All of us have something in our past. All of us have made bad mistakes or done something. When do they stop holding that against us? And so it just needs to stop. It's not right. And it can be pretty much illegal, too, to be doing that to somebody. So I hope that you hear me and that you really take into consideration what you're doing. And, yeah, so thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to start with an announcement about MST because a lot of the public has been waiting to hear what was going to happen at our MST board meeting. It is on the agenda later. I'll go into it in more detail, but the cliff notes is that the service is going to be extended until the circulars are in place. That's the most important thing that I think our community has been worried about. A lot of our community members showed up and spoke up about the need for it. So I did just want to share that with everyone because I know not everyone waits till the end of the meeting with us to have our committee reports out. I do have some things to say on the Day of Thanks and Councilmember Martinez, but I'll wait since we've kind of gone a little crazy on our agenda today. So MST, the meeting summaries getting posted, getting shared on social media. Paul, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna bug about that again. If we can get a council meeting summary posted again. You were very popular and we want to see it back up. I was fortunate enough to be invited to participate in Mary Chapa Career Day. And it was a wonderful event. It was a lot of fun. The school does an amazing job at preparing the students also to ask us questions. And they're very respectful as you're talking. And I thought it was funny when they just flat out asked, like, how much money do you make? And does the mayor make $1 million? Does the mayor of Greenfield? And so it's a really fun, just, nice event to get on and talk to the kids and trying to connect what, actually it was Councilmember Martinez that when I first came on council, she had done a career day and she talked about trying to make it relevant to the kids, like what do they maybe care about city council, but explaining to them how decisions up here are made about parks and things that they can relate to. So I tried to do that with my presentation and talked about the rec center and what's going to be there and everything. And they were really excited. So that was a wonderful opportunity to be part of that. And to all the staff that put that together at the school, I see some are here. It was a very well put together event. Next thing is the film festival that was in Watsonville that we were all invited to attend. I know Commissioner Garcia was there and Councilwoman Ortiz. The kids did an amazing job, or youth, I guess. I don't know. Kids is an insult. But they did such a good job with covering, a lot of social topics, anything from the pollution issues, environmental issues to, unfair wages, I should say. And it was very informative and it was a great experience. So I wanted to say thank you for extending that opportunity to all of us, that invitation, and to the kids, to the youth, a lot of them that are here. You guys did an amazing job. So that was wonderful. And I hope that in time we can host things like that here in Greenfield. That would be wonderful. The Christmas parade, unfortunately, I had to text Jesus kind of last minute, and I heard it was amazing, and thank you to all the staff and everyone that put so much work into making that a success. I was hoping to ride in the fire truck again because I was so cool doing that last year, but I was on a heating pad with a heated blanket because I just was not well. So I hate that I missed out on it, but I enjoyed all the videos that our residents posted, and it's so fun to see everyone having fun and enjoying themselves enough that they want to share it, and they're posting stuff all over social media about their experience out there and seeing the kids playing with the fake snow. That I agree with Councilwoman Ortiz that maybe we could upscale that for some more snow fun next time. But it was a really great event, even though I wasn't there. I know that because the community was so happy about it. And events like that, I don't remember growing up with too many things like that happening where so much of the community came out and came together. Like the Broccoli Festival is the only thing I could really think of, that we would all come out. But it's wonderful to see that we have such a robust community engagement and rec department that do so much where we're not doing the bare minimum. All the events that the city puts on, these community events, they're exceptional. They're great. They go above and beyond and really make it an experience. So, so much kudos to everybody involved for that. And yeah, those are all my comments for now. I'll save the rest for their time.
Thank you very much. I do have a few things tonight. I want to thank everyone who helped with the annual holiday parade and tree lighting last Friday night. Staff, you did an outstanding job. I heard many, many positive comments regarding the event, especially about the parade. With over 40 entries, I think it was the best one yet. If you didn't attend, I encourage you to be there next year. People were lined up from City Hall, all along El Camino Real. The crowds from along Maple, all the way to Tyler were huge. Lots of smiling faces. So thank you very much for the hard work there. As you mentioned, Councilwoman Ortiz, your Day of Thanks was a huge success. I understand over 600 meals were either served or delivered. And you and your volunteers did an outstanding job. It was very gratifying to me to see the huge number of volunteers who gave their time to help provide a meal for our residents. Also, a big thank you to all the donors who gave generously to the event. Greenfield is known as the heart of the valley, and I think this event showed that we are also a city with a generous heart. We have a couple other items here. The coat drive is underway. I understand there's a coat drive and a drop-off box here at the community center, one at the civic center, and one fire department, and one at the community science center. Help those in need this winter season by donating coats. Please take part. There should be a drop box out front, so please do that. Just a reminder, the Holiday House decorating contest is underway. 5 prizes of $100 will be awarded to the winners. Send your entries to 831-333-6026 by December 19th. This is presented by the City of Greenfield. Show us your creativity and your holiday spirit. Rotary had a yard sale and sausage barbecue on November 23rd. It was a huge success. I want to do a special shout out to Paul Martin, who handled the barbecue pretty much all by himself and did a great job. So, let's see. One last item, we will be swearing in our newly elected council members in just a few minutes. I want to congratulate all of you. I'm looking forward to working with each of you as we move Greenfield forward in a positive direction. Greenfield is a growing and changing community with lots of moving parts. We have a lot of work to do as a council, but I'm confident by working together, we can continue to make our city a great place to live and an outstanding community. And those are my comments for tonight. We will now move to consent. All matters that are listed under the consent calendar are considered routine and may be approved by one action of the City Council unless a request for removal for discussion or explanation is received prior to the time Council votes on the motion to adopt. Do we have any public comments on the consent calendar? Seeing none, I'll bring it back to Council.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Item City Council business, item I1, adopt a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield, canvassing and declaring results of the general election held in the City of Greenfield on November the 5th, 2024. Staff report, please.
On December 3rd, Gina Martinez, Registrar of Voters for the Monterey County Elections Department, certified the November 5th election. 55.71% of the registered voters casted their votes. And in your agenda packet, there is a resolution canvassing and declaring the result of the general election. There is, this was budgeted for, however, we don't receive the invoice until maybe February, March of next year. And staff is recommending approval.
Do we have any public comment on item I-1? If not, I'll bring it back to city council comments, review, and action.
I make my last motion, move to approve.
I need a second.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Congratulations. Item I-2, swearing in a council member Ariana Rodriguez, Marcy Jones, and Belen Garcia, swearing in as council members. Please come forward.
And if I could please get all three ladies up front here, facing the audience.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. I, do solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend. That I will support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. And State of California. And the State of California. Against all enemies. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. Foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation, or purpose of evasion, and that I will well, and faithfully, discharge the duties, upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
All right. I'm going to call for a 10-minute recess, please.
My chair goes that way. Face. Oh, okay,
We should take public comment on Mayor Pro Tem items because you are making a decision.
Okay. Yeah, I am sorry, Jared.
it's that one there. You think you Oh, okay.
Call the meeting back to order. Things have changed up here.
Full house now.
Yeah.
In a few minutes.
Welcome to the both of you. We'll jump right into business here. Yes, I think it's on. All right, item I3, selection of Mayor Pro Tem. I'm going to open this item up to public comments. Do we have any public comments from the audience?
Good evening, Stephanie Garcia, Greenfield resident. I would encourage you to hopefully nominate Councilmember Ortiz, as she's got the most experience up there. And it's my understanding that Pro Tem should be rotated every cycle. So that's my recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really think you ought to pick somebody who was Mayor Pro Tem last term, which is Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez. She knows what she's doing. She's a kind person, and she knows exactly what she's doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oops.
I would like to see Councilwoman Ortiz as Mayor Pro Tem. I think she's doing a good job. Well, they're all doing a good job. We need change.
Anyone else from the audience?
Good evening, Cynthia. I also encourage council to nominate Councilmember Ortiz for Mayor Pro Tem. Again, she's the most experienced, the one that's been there the longest, and a good leader. So hopefully, Councilmember Ortiz. Thank you.
My name is Hayla Campbell, resident of Greenfield, actually Arroyo Seco. I had the pleasure of working with Council Member Ortiz with the Day of Thanks. And I really enjoyed her leadership, and I plan on helping again next year. I think it was awesome, and I really enjoyed volunteering, and Ortiz was wonderful.
Thank you.
I support Councilmember Ariana Rodriguez for Mayor Pro Tem for this cycle. And hopefully the council can see that she's very professional and very well-spoken. I've listened to many different meetings in the past 2 years since she was appointed. And I support her for Mayor Pro Tem on this cycle.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Noemi Chico, and I want to vote for Mayor Rodriguez, for as pro tem for Ms. Rodriguez.
I also urge you to vote for Ms. Rodriguez.
Any other? Okay. Anyone else in chambers? I do see a couple hands raised.
Beatriz Diaz.
Hi, I would like to support Councilmember Ariana Rodriguez. I'm a little concerned with appointing Councilmember Ortiz for throwing her little fits, tantrum fits. If you can't get along with a council member, let alone she's going to be a good Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Gabby?
Yes. So from what I understand is that you all take turns. So again, do what's right, what is just. And if Ariana thinks that she wants, again, the mayor, I would ask her for her transparency and why she thinks that she could have 2 terms and take up space from somebody who is next. And then also, I think regardless, it's a title. It doesn't mean anything if you don't put in the work. So at the end of the day, and then also, for transparency reasons, I would ask Ortiz and Ariana, do you guys have quote unquote beef? Because, hey, let's be transparent. You guys talk about transparency. This is the time to really put it out there.
Thank you for your comments.
No more comments.
All right, thank you very much. I'll bring you back to city council comments. I will go ahead. I think obviously it should be one of the 2 of you. You're the 2 experienced ones. 2 other ladies are brand new. I think both of you are very qualified. We have been rotating, but it's not mandatory, but it is a nice tradition, I think. But I am open to hear what the rest of the council thinks.
I'll go ahead and just make my comments now.
Sure.
So, I'm very grateful for the time that I was appointed Mayor Pro Tem. It's an honor and a privilege, one that I do not take lightly, to represent the city. And yes, I did serve not a full term because I was appointed. So in my abbreviated term, I would like to continue because I was only able to serve an abbreviated term since I was appointed after the elections. And I think that I can represent the city well, and it would be an honor to continue to do so.
Do either of you want to make a comment?
I have had the honor of being in the audience these last few months, and I do appreciate that anyone wants to serve our country, our city, our people. And I know that either one of our council members would be great. But I also think it doesn't have to shift every cycle, every year. I've seen where they can serve multiple terms. So I have only experienced and watched Ariana, Councilmember Rodriguez lead, and so I am okay with nominating Councilmember Rodriguez.
Okay, so that's a nomination. Do I have a second on that or any other further comments first? All right, I'm looking for a second.
A second.
Okay, then motioned and seconded. Let's do a roll call vote, please.
I think it's very hard just because I don't know them. I think so. What experience, can I ask a question or? Sure. Ms. Ortiz, what experience do you have? Because I heard that some people said that you have experience. In what capacity do you have experience in? Well, I've never been a pro tem, and I never was a council member before. I just have my 2 years that I've been sitting up here on the dais so far. I'd like to think that I'm a good leader. There have been occasions where, as a person said, that, that I did get a little testy. I'm not going to deny that. Sometimes you want to, talk back to people, but that's something that you're going to learn when you're up here. I'm all for the community. I don't know how to run a meeting other than what I see from the mayor. But I am involved in a lot of other businesses where I do conduct meetings and seminars and deal with a lot of people and a lot of issues. That's about the only thing that I can say. I'm a good leader, but here's the thing. Whether I have a title or not, I'm still going to be out in the community. I'm still doing my job. I still have the title of council member. And I always have to say this, my best title is Gigi, or great grandma. And that's the title that I hold near and dear to me. Yeah. And so anything else, it would be an honor to serve as Mayor Pro Tem for my last 2 years or even for a year. It would be an experience, something, but honestly, if I didn't get it, it's not the end of the world. I'm still going to serve the community the way I've been serving it. I have a lot of seeds to plant still for the next 2 years, so that's pretty much it.
And, Councilwoman Rodriguez, have you done it for a year?
I was appointed about 3 months, I believe, after Councilwoman Ortiz. So I have about a year and 9 months now, so a few months short.
Yes.
But I have 20 years of experience being a leader in higher education, and my personal life, that's what I do. Yeah. So I think it's important though too that we weigh our image outside of just Greenfield. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that Councilwoman Ortiz has come, under kind of fire about are some disparaging remarks made about a very large population of our residents. And it's been a while, but people don't forget those things. Those people now have children who are now voters also. And, unfortunately, those comments were made. And so if we're up here to represent the whole community, we can't speak like that about our residents. So, and I don't know if you're aware, but we did have other city leaders from another city reach out to us and write to us about Councilwoman Ortiz's conduct at one of their meetings. So I think that we need to be mindful of these things when we select a leader for our city.
I would go with Councilwoman Rodriguez.
So that's a yes? Okay. Councilmember Garcia,
Yes.
Councilmember Ortiz,
No.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Congratulations.
All right, we'll move to item I4, a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield recognizing Senator Ana Caballero's dedication and service to the community of Greenfield. Oral report, please. There is no oral report, all right. Public comments on this item? All right. I want to read the last couple paragraphs here. Senator Caballero's been our senator for quite some time. He was instrumental in helping us obtain a $1 million grant. And I want to read this section. Whereas Senator Ana Caballero has been a strong supporter of the community of Greenfield and in public safety, helping to obtain $1 million in funding for the Greenfield radio towers, which benefits all first responders and helps ensure a safer and more resilient community. Now therefore be it resolved that the City of Greenfield hereby expresses extreme gratitude for the dedication and service to the community that Ms. Ana Caballero has shown residents of Greenfield over her legendary tenure. Let me go ahead and I need a motion to approve this.
Approve. Second.
Motion and second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for the recognition, and I stand before you. Thank you. We take a photo afterwards to make sure that we post it on the Senator's social media. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Sure. And I'll just share a few words, and thank you, Mayor and Council, again for providing this recognition to Senator Caballero. I'm accepting on behalf of the Senator. I'm her district director. And it's a bittersweet moment. I know we closed our Salinas office last Wednesday, and it was really difficult. However, on behalf of the Senator and through the Senator, she will continue to fight for this valley. She has always been, as an elected official, as a local mayor, previously as an assemblywoman, and now as a senator, she will continue to fight for rural California. She understands the needs of our community, and she will continue to be our champion. I know she welcomes Senator Laird, who's our new senator, and she will continue to work with him to ensure that if there's anything that the city needs, anything that any of the elected officials need, she will always be a champion for rural California, and especially for South Monterey County. So on her behalf, thank you so much for this honor of providing the recognition for Senator Caballero.
Thank you very much.
Mayor Velazquez. I just wanted to say, after that day when we were at the Steinbeck Center, I didn't get your email, so I wanted to make sure that she was recognized and thanked for all the work that she did for us.
Yes, thank you. And I apologize if we didn't send out, if the council, excuse me, didn't receive the email. We did have a farewell for her, and we wanted to ensure that all of the communities within our district were included in that. So as her district director, if the city of Greenfield did not receive those, I apologize on her behalf, because we were trying to make sure that we were getting that done. So apologize, but thank you so much for providing this recognition to her.
Thank you.
Senator, thank you very much for all her hard work and dedication to this community. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we'll move to J1, proclamation of the City Council, City of Greenfield honoring Council Member Yaneli Martinez. I have a proclamation to read. Whereas Yaneli Martinez has served as an elected member of the City Council from November 2016 to November 2024, and served as Mayor Pro Tem from November 2018 to 2020. And whereas these years of service have been marked by exemplary dedication to the best interests of the community, as she has worked constantly for the betterment of its economic, cultural, and aesthetic development, and whereas she has earned the admiration and high regard of those who she has come in contact and the affection of her fellow public servant. Whereas her performance of the duties and responsibilities as a member of the City Council have been characterized by excellent and constructive contributions to municipal government in our city. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the City Council, City of Greenfield, on behalf of all community members, does hereby express our sincere appreciation and thanks to Yaneli Martinez for her distinguished service to the community, and I highly commend her for the manner in which she has carried out her duties and responsibilities. Congratulations. I also have another one here. This is from Chris Lopez, Monterey County Board of Supervisors, 3rd District. Resolution number 0010-24. Adopt a resolution in recognition of Yaneli Martinez for her years of public service for the City of Greenfield. Whereas Yaneli Martinez served as elected member of the City Council from November 2016 to November 2024, and served as Mayor Pro Tem from November 2018 to November 2020. Whereas these years of service have been marked by exemplary dedication to the best interests of the community, as she has worked constantly for the betterment of its economic, cultural, and aesthetic development. Whereas Yaneli Martinez earned the admiration and high regard of those she has come into contact and the affection of her fellow public servants. Whereas Yaneli Martinez volunteered much of her time with local organizations, which include Safe Ag, Safe Schools, and LULAC, to name a few. And whereas Yaneli Martinez's performance of duties and responsibilities as a member of the City Council has been characterized by excellent and constructive contributions to municipal government in the City of Greenfield. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Chris Lopez, member of the Monterey County Board of Supervisors, hereby expresses his sincere appreciation and thanks to Yaneli Martinez for her distinguished public service to the community.
I was waiting for you, Mayor, to do it very formal. Wow, it feels strange having my picture no longer on that wall. It's exciting. I'm excited to see what the next pictures that are going to go up on our amazing home. What else can I say? You guys already made me cry. You heard what I had to say about just serving the City of Greenfield, and again, thanking the community for allowing me to serve for 2 terms. 8 years. I was just telling everyone when I got elected in 2016, they took a picture of me right over here. We had cake back then, so I don't know where's the cake, Paul and Ann. No cake this year for our newly elected officials. But at that moment, Africa, can you stand up? She is 10 now. At that moment, she was very young. She was still in diapers. So just so people could realize how much, yes, you are sorry, how much we as elected officials leave our families. I mean, 8 years, wow. In the blink of an eye, 8 years went by, but it has been the most amazing years. Yes, the last 3 were the toughest ones. Knowing that I lost my mother, and that's something that I asked the mayor if I could thank, because I completely didn't see in the amazing crowd that I had here that my father, gracias a mi papá que está aquí presente, don Ramón, gracias porque si tú no estás aquí, yo no estuviera en este mundo ni en este espacio, y gracias por representar no solamente al espíritu de mi mamá, gracias por apoyarme en todas mis loqueras, pa, de estar en la política de corazón. Ojalá que te hice orgullosa, pa, tu hija, porque aunque yo sea loca o lo que sea con la política, con el activismo, yo sé que al fin del día sigo siendo tu niña, y gracias, pa, por estar aquí conmigo. And just letting everyone know that came out and said beautiful words about me, brought so many flowers. Gracias. Thank you a cada uno de ustedes, de verdad, de corazón, por estar aquí, por hacer mi vida y esta transición mucho más mejor. Hoy cierro un capítulo de mi vida de 8 años, un capítulo de muchas emociones, pero un capítulo muy bien vivido y con mucho orgullo. So gracias. And I'm sorry I'm going all over the place. Probably the translator is going crazy in the back trying to figure out what he's going to do. But to the next council, I know that we're in good hands. It was a pleasure sitting up there with you, Councilmember Ortiz, and thank you for taking care of the seniors now that I'm no longer going to be there. Mayor White, thank you for running with me that amazing campaign as mayor. We promised each other we were going to keep it clean, and I think we did, and I even told you if I wasn't running, I would have voted for you, and the people spoke, and you are our mayor. But I still have the faith that one day Greenfield will have its first female mayor. Ariana, Mayor Pro Tem, you came in a moment that we had so much chaos, and I do think that you're bringing a lot of that balance. And thank you for putting up with a lot of the drama, the 3 of you, for putting up a lot of the drama and comments that were not necessary for our public setting that we had. And moving in the future, I hope that you guys don't have to deal with any of that, and that you guys could control that situation. But I just know that Greenfield is in good hands, and to the newly elected members, have fun, get ready, thick skin, and just really be out there open with the community. Meet with every single one of those persons. Don't forget who voted for you, who put you in office, because those are the ones that you need to be thankful for every single day, and meeting with them, not just a selected few, meeting with all your constituents. And to staff, I'm gonna miss you. Chief Mixer, giving you a hard time. But I know that PD, after a lot of different transitioning with police chiefs, we have a good one. Tenemos uno bueno, habla español. So we have a good one. He speaks Spanish. He's fluent in Spanish. And I know Langboard is no longer here, but we also have a really good chief with our fire, with our fire department. Paul, you and I went through some up and down situations, but you are the father to the rest of the council. You have to put up with 5 different personalities. I was a tough one for you, but I think that you and I bonded in so many ways that nobody will ever understand. It was a love and hate relationship, but that's what I appreciate, that we were able to be upfront. And I would tell you, Paul, this is what I need from you. This is what I'm gonna tell you. This is this. And I think I never hold nothing behind. I never surprised you with the curveball out here. Every single question that I had with you privately, I would bring it up in the open. So thank you for the best conversations that I had in that room, when you would bring all your aromatherapy to calm me down. So be ready for that, council members, because he does like to do that. He bumps it up when he knows that crazy councilwoman is coming in. Jennifer, I know I gave you hell, but I know that you do truly care about the city. So you have, 2 new people to deal with now, and I know that Greenfield's in good hands. And to all the single city staff, those that are no longer with us, because we went through so many staff that are no longer here, that believed in me, that came out when we had tough situations. I mean, we lived through COVID together, and that's something that nobody in history will ever forget. So thank you. But more importantly, thank you to you, Ann. You were literally the mother of us, the council members, getting us to our trips, making sure we were signing those forms. What can I say about you, Ann? I know that you and I really didn't speak a lot in the last couple of years, but because various scenarios, but I know that your heart is in the right place. I know the love that you have for Greenfield, and it was an honor to be here with you. Don't make me cry. So yes, with that, I close my 8-year chapter of being Councilwoman Martinez. Thank you.
And I didn't want you in the picture. All of us? Yeah, no, all of you.
Yaneli, thank you for your comments and thank you for your service. All right. We will now move to item J2, Councilmember Ortiz, Day of Thanks.
So I won't be doing the presentation. Aaron Chavez, who is an intern with the City of Greenfield, will be doing the presentation. I just want to say that we couldn't have done this without you, Aaron, because, on our first meeting, we were all over the place. And, volunteers were kind of up and down a little bit, but you basically took over, the reservations, you took over, making us agenda when we needed it, when we got a little out of control. But, it takes a strong person to put all that together, and you did that for us. And, and I am so appreciative, and I hope that you're here next year, or wherever you're at next year, that you can help us again, because it was really a winning team that we put together, and it's all yours.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager Paul Wood, City Attorney Thompson, and the good people of Greenfield. My name is Aaron Chavez, and I am here on behalf of the Day of Thanks Committee. I stand before you today filled with gratitude and pride as we reflect on the success of our very first Day of Thanks community dinner. What started as an idea months ago has turned into something truly special, and it wouldn't have been possible without the incredible support of everybody involved. This event took months of preparation, countless hours of work, and a whole lot of turkey. But what made it truly amazing was the spirit of goodwill that brought our community together. We want to extend our heartfelt thanks to the Fighting Bruin Cadet Corps, the 4-H team, the FFA team, the football team at Greenfield High, the Madrecita Foundation, and every other single volunteer that got up that Sunday morning and decided to give back to their community. You showed up, you worked hard, you made a difference. From the beginning, a Day of Thanks was designed to be more than just a meal. It was meant to be a moment for neighbors to connect, families to come together, and for all of us to share what we are grateful for this special season. And thanks to you all, we were able to feed our local police and fire station, seniors, families, the homeless, and of course, every single one of our amazing volunteers. One thing we all learned that day, barbecuing turkeys is something we're going to do a lot more often. But beyond the food, the true success of this event lies in the sense of community and compassion that was felt by everyone involved. It reminded us that when we come together, we can create something truly beautiful. Thank you again to everyone who helped make a Day of Thanks such a success. Let's carry the spirit of generosity, kindness, and gratitude into the holiday season and beyond. Now let me say this in Spanish, guys. Me llamo Aaron Chávez y estoy aquí en el nombre del Comité del Día de Gracias. Hoy me presento antes de ustedes lleno de gratitud y orgullo mientras reflexionamos sobre el éxito de nuestra primera cena comunitaria, Un Día de Gracias. Lo que comenzó como una idea hace meses ha convertido en algo realmente especial. Y no habría sido posible sin el increíble apoyo de todos los involucrados. Este evento tomó meses de preparación, innumerables horas de trabajo y un montón de pavos. Pero lo que lo hizo realmente increíble fue el espíritu de buena voluntad que unió a nuestra comunidad. Queremos extender nuestro más sincero agradecimiento a los cadets de Fighting Bruins, el equipo 4-H, el equipo FFA, a la Fundación Madrecita y todos los otros voluntarios que se levantaron esa mañana domingo para ayudar a nuestra ciudad. Se presentaron, trabajaron duro e hicieron la diferencia. Desde el principio, Un Día de Gracias fue diseñado para ser más que una simple comida. Estaba diseñado para ser un momento para que los vecinos se conectaran, las familias se unieran y para que todos compartimos lo que estamos agradecidos esta temporada especial. Y gracias a todos ustedes pudimos alimentar a nuestros departamentos de policía y bomberos, a las personas mayores, a las familias, a las personas sin hogar y por supuesto a cada uno de nuestros increíbles voluntarios. Una cosa que todos aprendimos ese día es que tenemos que hacer nuestros pavos más seguidos. Pero más allá de la comida, el verdadero éxito de este evento radica en el sentido de comunidad y compasión que se sintió todos los involucrados. Nos recordó que cuando nos unimos podemos crear algo verdaderamente hermoso. Gracias de nuevo a todos los que ayudaron a que Un Día de Gracias fuera un éxito. Llevamos este espíritu de generosidad, amabilidad y gratitud a la temporada navideña y más allá. I'd also like to share this presentation that I prepared with the committee.
I had a dream so big and loud, I jumped so high, I touched the clouds. I stretched my hands out to the sky, we danced with monsters through the night. I'm never gonna look back, I'm never gonna give it up. Please don't wake me now. This is gonna be the best day of my life. This is gonna be the best day of my life, my I howled at the moon with friends, and then the sun came crashing in. But all the possibilities, no limits, just epiphanies. I'm never gonna look back, I'm never gonna give it up. Just don't wake me now. This is gonna be the best day of my life. This is gonna be the best day of my life.
Thank you. We'll see each other next year.
So what, we wanted something to remember the day by, and we've asked permission from city manager would if they could display this in chambers for a while, so everybody can see the names of a lot of the people that did attend that day. They could write their name, or they could write a little message if they wanted to. One little boy even put his on there so we can contact him on Instagram. Not sure about that though, but it was really a fun event. I think I shared with Aaron earlier today that our final numbers were about 655 people. We did almost 300 seating in the hall, 115 to the seniors and people who couldn't come out, 100 volunteers. Mother Sita delivered 100 meals. Aaron delivered meals to his church. We delivered to Sun Street Centers. Maria, she delivered to Sun Street Centers. Commissioner Zavala, she delivered to King City PD and Soledad PD. So there was an abundance of people that were blessed that day with a warm meal. And when I did go talk to the American Legion, they said, oh yeah, November 23rd. And I said, no, we did it November 24th. And he said, no, next year's November 23rd. So it's already on the calendar, and hopefully we have a lot more volunteers this time. And we're going to do things a little bit differently, but my goal this year I had set for 400, and clearly it went above that. And next year it's going to be a lot more. We're going to do a really big deal. Thank you, Aaron, for all your hard work.
Councilmember Ortiz, could we'd love to hang this here, at least temporarily.
Yeah.
Could we add like the year to it someplace, maybe at the very top, just so that we know? I mean, if this becomes a tradition, it could be wonderful. We'll have something to compare next year to.
Hopefully next year that we're going to have actually a painted one. We were trying to find an artist, and we were all over the place. We only have 2.5 months. So that's my handy dandy artwork, excuse me. I had to put something together really quick. But yes, next year we'll have an actual mural that we'll be doing. But yeah, we can put the date on it. Thank you.
All right. Just want to say thank you very much, Rachel, for putting a very positive light on the city of Greenfield. I think we got a lot of appreciation, and really appreciate all the hard work and all the volunteers that people with, and all the generous donors. So thank you again.
The volunteers were, and I have to keep on saying this, it's the youth that did this. It was the youth, the young kids that probably, they probably never done anything like this before, and so the only thing that I asked of everyone, of all the kids, was to have a smile on your face. Treat everybody nice, say hello, smile, nothing negative, and just be happy. And that's it. And boy, did they really came through for us. Yeah.
Any other comments?
I put it on my calendar already.
There you go.
Yeah.
But your apron, I wore my Greenfield broccoli apron.
Oh,
20-something years ago, so just went off, girl.
Got it.
Seems like you did an awesome job, even on the video itself.
I don't take credit for any of that. Aaron's the one that put all that together.
Well, the food itself, I think the people and everything, great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't mention it in my council comments, but I think it was an amazing idea that you brought to the city, and the event itself. I talked about events that bring our community together, and that's definitely one of them. And I hope it does become an annual thing that the community comes together and makes it happen somehow. But from what I saw, it was a wonderful event.
I'd like to add something that during the event and after, I was contacted by so many other groups, and they've all committed to helping next year. So that volunteer list, we're going to have to be selected next year, right? And we said, we're going to vet the people that are coming in, but we have the churches and a lot of other nonprofits that we're really encouraged by it happening, and so I think it's going to be really great next year.
And for the art piece that you said, I have a lot of connections with muralists for my nonprofit, so I would love to sign some of them up to help. And that would be wonderful. We have this idea of this paint by the numbers thing where the community, as they come in, they are part of it and they end up painting the picture. By the end of the day, it's a whole painting. So we can, I'd love to help with that.
Thank you again. All right, we'll move to J3, update on the parking pilot program.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor. This is a brief update on our pilot parking program and enforcement. Quick overview, these are our 4 community service officers. They're non-sworn and they do quite a few tasks for our city. In addition to quality of life issues, animal control, parking enforcement, code enforcement as far as regulations for some businesses, property, nuisance properties. And they also help out the officers quite a bit and take some load off the officers for less where an officer isn't necessarily needed, but we need somebody there with some authority. So we'll kind of take some of those incidents off the plates of the officers. So October 2024, the city started a pilot program to allow RVs, boats, trailers to be parked in driveways so long as they do not block the intersection or the sidewalk. This is actually really brief because the CSOs have received no negative complaints regarding this temporary regulation, this pilot program. There has been some additional parking on the street because of it, because there are some people parking their RVs, trailers, recreational vehicles in the driveway, so that frees up some parking. Obviously not enough for our city. We need a lot more enforcement for that. But so far so good. So this is a positive. I'm gonna pause there, see if there's any questions regarding this part. All right. Calls for service. So our CSOs, two types of calls. Self-initiated, they see something, they do something, or they're dispatched. Somebody calls it in, and then they go handle it. As you can see from the graphs, our officers do much more self-initiated activity than what they're actually called for, 1 to 6. So they're busy. They're seeing stuff, they're handling it, they're issuing citations, they're making contact, they're giving warnings. So it shows quite a bit of proactive engagement from our CSOs. And of course, traffic, vehicles, this is the worst part. People parking in handicap spots, abandoned vehicles, blocking sidewalks, creating all these issues for a lot of our residents and homeowners. So as far as vehicle enforcements, we can see from 4 months, July, August, September, and October, abandoned vehicle citations. July, was that 103 citations down to, say, October, 54. Unregistered vehicle citations there in the center. Quite a few, high of 23, low of 3. Other parking vehicle citations, 80, 113, 128, they're on the graph on the right. So in aggregate, these 4 months, that's over 674 citations or incidences or taggings. That's a lot of proactive work from our CSOs just in those 4 months. Of course, animal control is also a major portion of their job. Taking pets into custody, issuing citations, a lot of warnings, and sometimes they need to go to the shelter. We try to reunite homeowners with their pets. There's always a member of the family, so we strenuously try to get people to come to the station here to pick up their animals. We do have the technology to check the strips on the dogs, the microchips, so we can identify them. So that's why we highly encourage every resident to register their animals and get the chips installed. So this keeps our CSOs equally busy. So when we do have to transport animals to the county shelter, that's a couple hours on the road. That's taking them away from other duties. And of course, we address the homeless situation. We're very caring. We're the homeless encampments. We offer a lot of services. We have some cars that were donated from McDonald's or different services. We try to get them some food. At the same time, we recognize that most of these people do have some sort of vice, whether it's alcohol or drugs. Some people, for some, it's a lifestyle choice. The ones that we have encountered aren't, the families living on the street. So for these efforts, we try to be as caring and as sensitive to it as possible, but at the same time, we don't want them to collect hordes of trash, defecating, urinating, creating issues, being hopped up on drugs, throwing rocks, making it so our families can't walk to the park, walk to the store, enjoy their own residences. So with the pass of the last law with the Supreme Court allows us to be able to move a lot of these residents, and we do, and it keeps their stash of stuff to a minimum as well. So it's not only safer for them, but safer for the community. Questions, but before, I wanted to address Mr. Rica's comment about the San Francisco Municipal Code changing to allow blocking 20 feet of the street within an intersection. That's actually a statewide ordinance, and Jamie Tugel is going to be coming forward with a program. Starting July 1st, most intersections are going to be painted red, not all, but most major intersections. So our city is moving forward with that starting January 1st. Now, any questions?
I'm glad that you're going to implement that. It's getting harder and harder to, if you come out from my street, it's a yield. The cars are parked so close, you have to kind of creep out. And then if they're coming fast, I don't know how many times I've almost got broadsided already. I can't see. And also when you come out Apple and you're headed to 12th Street, they're parking all the way to the end. You can't see, and that's a busy street. There's no stopping there. It just runs straight through. But I've heard from a lot of community members that it's happening everywhere right now. And, so I'm glad that it will be implemented. I wish it was all of them, but I understand that it's only going to be some.
Same. I've allowed me to have all intersections 20 feet, but it's, cost prohibitive and enforcement, so.
Any other comments?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Right. We'll move to K1, introduction and first reading of an ordinance of the City Council, City of Greenfield, amending Chapter 3.12, Purchasing System of the Greenfield Municipal Code. Staff report, please.
Good evening, Mayor White and City Council. I'll be providing the staff report. This is largely an administrative update to the city's purchasing ordinance. The city has already adopted what we call CUPCA. It's the California Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act, and it's a way for cities to have higher bid limits for public works projects. So this was adopted in 2016, but this program is dictated by state law, and this year, or starting in 2025, the state has increased the bid limits. So, for example, the city now will not be required to bid a public works project that is under $75,000, and then it requires informal bidding for projects up to $220,000, and then anything over $235,000 requires formal bidding. And this, again, is just related to public works projects, which are defined in statute. And so the purpose of this code update is just to update those dollar amounts within the city's ordinance so that it's clear to staff and the community what those bid limits are. When the time comes, there is a proposed motion on page 70 that I ask that you use since this is the introduction of this ordinance. So if you could read that proposed motion verbatim, would be appreciated. I'm open for any questions.
So are we voting on this tonight, or is this just the first reading?
It's the first reading, but you will be moving to introduce the ordinance, and then the next meeting we will adopt.
All right. I will now open the public hearing. Hearing is now open. Anybody wish to make any comments regarding K1? Seeing none, I'll bring it back.
I do have.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Sorry. Hold on, line.
This is the right item. Good evening, Mayor, City Council.
Good evening.
This is the item for the amendment to the municipal code?
This is just for changing the amount for bid, but is that the one you're wanting, or? There's two of them, I think.
Which one is this one?
This is the purchasing limits.
The next
Oh,
item
bid
is for
limit.
the drive-throughs.
That's the one I'm.
Okay, all right.
You'll be back.
All right. Public hearing still open. Now I'll close the public hearing. Bring it back to council comments, review, and action. I think this is a pretty straightforward item. In motion.
And you do want us to read the full thing?
Yes, please.
I move to introduce by title only and waive the first reading of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Greenfield amending Chapter 3.12 of the Greenfield Municipal Code to amend the purchasing policy.
Need a second on that? Then move to second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. All right. A2, introduction and first reading of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Greenfield to amend Chapter 17.78 of the Greenfield Municipal Code related to drive-in and drive-through facilities, including modifications to the distancing requirements of drive-through facilities, residential zones. Staff report, please.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor White, new members of the City Council, Mayor Pro Tem, Councilmember Ortiz, Paul Mugen with Community Development. Tonight's agenda item is the ordinance before you tonight involves how the city considers new projects when they're proposed for entitlements. New commercial projects that are within 300 feet of residential zoned parcels. Starting with the zoning map from north to south on El Camino Real, you can imagine this involves hundreds of properties because immediately easterly and westerly of El Camino Real, residential properties abut commercial properties. So today, as our code is written, at the present time, if a developer came in and wanted to develop a parcel with a drive-through component to it, our zoning code prohibits any consideration of those proposals if that parcel is within 300 feet of a residentially zoned parcel. What the proposed amendment will do is give the city decision makers, whether it's the city council or the planning commission, increased flexibility to consider a project. At the present time, such a project will never be before decision makers. By changing the word shall to the word may, it allows decision makers to at least consider the project should staff be able to put together findings and evidence to mitigate noise, light, circulation. Those are the major impacts of such developments. That's all we're doing tonight. However, I also want to say, with respect to the City Council, that at one point in time, between 2007 and the present time, we've been unable to determine exactly when. The City Council decided that we did not want to consider any projects that were that close to residential housing developments, residential zone properties. So we at the staff level respect that. The thinking behind bringing this to the City Council was that many of us have changed the way we do business. Now, retail has changed. We buy more things online, and brick and mortar retail stores have changed also too. Sometimes they're not building anymore except for drive-through facilities. So what this change to our code would do simply is change a word, give decision makers the opportunity to make findings, to approve a project that is within that buffer area. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you very much. I will open a public hearing on K2. John, you want?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. I'm speaking on behalf of developers, National Brands, more specifically, of a drive-through restaurant proposal on El Camino Real at Tyler Avenue. I understand that this project or this ordinance amendment that you're looking at tonight is not project-specific, so just bear in mind, just take that in consideration. I want to share with you that the developers and investors want to work with the city staff and that the impacts are not insurmountable. They want to share that with the city council. You are the decision makers of the city and the planning commission as well. So as a former mayor of the city, I'm in full support of the municipal code amendment that is in front of you tonight. Thank you for the opportunity. Part two of why I'm here, standing here with you tonight. On a personal note, the Tyler El Camino Real, the lot that is part of the proposal, that was part of the RDA, the Redevelopment Agency. I was the chair of the Redevelopment Agency for 10 years. That location has been on all of our minds for many years. And so to have somebody, to be quite honest, that wants to invest and to have that type of national brand in front of our Greenfield High School. So, I'm here tonight in support of what you all have in front of you. And thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much for your comments. Anyone else?
Good evening, Mayor White, Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez, the new council members. My name is Rosario Benavides. I'm here on behalf of Greenfield Village. We respectfully request consideration for flexibility concerning the proposed or potential establishment. This initiative is intended to benefit the community, and it is essential for the town to collaborate on the design to ensure that it does not adversely affect the neighboring residents, potentially by incorporating a dividing wall. It is possible for both entities to coexist in proximity without causing negative impacts on one another.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other comments on this item? If not, I will close the public hearing and bring it back to council for comments, review, and action.
I saw the planning commission consider this, and they pretty much asked the questions I think that it wouldn't pass, so.
Okay. Yeah, I think getting flexibility in that is a good idea. So,
I agree, just a simple change of may still gives a chance for everyone's input.
I have a question. So if it's built right there, where will be the entrance and exit on that lot that's right there?
Okay,
Do you know anything about that?
Not at all. That's a project specific. I don't. I don't know. The application that I believe the mayor is referring to was withdrawn a long time ago. When we recognized and looked at the issue and looked at the maps, we're like, wow, this is a shell and it impacts hundreds of parcels, and the chances are good in the economic environment that we're in, that the city council probably would like to make this decision instead of staff. And this allows the decision-making authority to live where it ought to live with the city council.
I'm all for amending it, I think saying not amending it would probably close the doors to other businesses coming, so maybe we look at them on a one-on-one basis.
Well, with regard to that project, it was not a complete application. It has not been agendized, and that's not the only issue. I'm sure that there's other issues. So,
That's not the item we're on tonight, Wendy. We're just trying to open up the door so we get some flexibility. So.
yeah.
All right. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved. Oh, and again, there's a,
we
yeah,
need to
there's
read that.
nothing. If you'd like, I can read it and you can just adjust.
There you go.
I move that the city council introduce and conduct first reading of an ordinance of the city council of the city of Greenfield amending chapter 17.78 of the Greenfield Municipal Code related to drive-in and drive-through facilities, considering modifications to distancing requirements for drive-through facilities from residential zones.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Need a second? Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, we'll move to item L1, a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield, authorizing the reappointment of Stephanie Garcia to Planning Commissioner for a 3-year term expiring 2027. Staff report, please.
So this is Stephanie Garcia's term is of December 31st of this year. She submitted a letter requesting to be reappointed.
Any public comments on L1? Yeah, come on. Right ahead.
Good evening again. I'm just here before you. I'm chair for our planning commission, and I've been working with Commissioner Garcia for the past 3 years. I know she's been there for 5 years, and I'm chair, but I wish she was chair. She's just, till now, I learned so much from her, and I don't think there's anyone better up there to look at everything that comes before you at every meeting. So I encourage you to appoint Stephanie Garcia. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Bob Arquidis. I belong to the Planning Commission. I've worked with Stephanie for, I think, 5 years. This is my 6-year term. I think I've got 1 year ahead of her. There's no doubt she puts the time in. She does everything right. She crosses her T's and dots her I's, and she has great questions. And she also was a chair for 2 years. I would highly recommend that you vote her back in. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? So we have a couple hands raised there.
Gabby?
Yes, I would like to say, based on your logic, Belen, I would assume that you're going to say yes because she's well qualified, or are you going to base it on if I know her and she's popularity? Ariana, I would say that you would probably vote yes because you voted yes for yourself. And then also, I hope none of you all have skeletons in your closet, that people could use that during the meeting and expose you. And I also hope that you guys never make a mistake currently or in your past, so then other people can use that during the meeting. I think that's very unprofessional. I can expect that from the audience, but not from a mayor pro tem. Thank you.
Beatriz Diaz?
Hi, I think Gabby needs to get a life on her own city. But anyways, I agree with the appointment of Stephanie. I think she's doing a great job. My only thing is when there's a planning commission report, I wish that one of the members would be out there when there's a report that that should be at the city council. That's it. But I think she's doing a great job, and her appointment would be great. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
That's it.
No other comments? I'll bring it back to council.
I do want to, I want to go first if I can. I contacted the city attorney and the city manager when this came up because there was a process as far as I was concerned and knew that when there's an opening, the public is noticed. So I felt that the process was done in a non-transparent way with just listing it on the agenda as a reappointment, when we do have a new council that should have a voice in the appointments as it is, written in the code that city council appoints the commissioners. I want to be very clear that my position on this is not personal to Stephanie Garcia. She's actually the commissioner who had the questions that I thought were very well thought out in regards to the drive-through thing and just in general, because I know you do the research. Your questions are great. I do think you're very well qualified, so I don't want this to become like a Drew Tipton situation where it was like it was personal. This is not personal. But I think that if the roles were reversed and you were a community member that wanted to get involved and somebody's term ended, but there was never any notice, there was not an opportunity, like a call for applications, that you also would have a grievance with that because you would say, hey, it should be opened up, there should be a process, it should be transparent how we appoint our commissioners. So every time that there's a vacancy, I think that it needs to be put out to the public so everyone has an opportunity to apply. And that's not to say that we'll get anybody that's better qualified, but I think that it's important that there's transparency in these processes. And so I actually missed agenda review because I got here late, but I was gonna ask for that maybe pulled so that we could have a process where it's, now the public has actually been put on notice, because before now, this wasn't even mentioned in council at all. And council is who appoints the commissioners, but it wasn't even like said ever that the term was ending. And even based on how the municipal code is written, yes, once the term is over, the planning commissioner shall prepare a written request to the city council to be considered for an additional term. But I think what we're doing, if we're just in practice of the term is over and then we just agendize it to reappoint, that's not following what the spirit of the municipal code was. It's they're requesting a term, but we shouldn't just automatically be reappointing anybody. I think that it needs to go through the process. But I mean, I'll be completely transparent and say, like, my vote would be to reappoint you, but I think we need to do it through a process that is transparent and fair to our entire community.
Any other comments?
So are there a limited number of seats on the planning commission?
There are a total of 5 seats on the planning commission. And they're on a rotating basis as far as appointments are concerned.
I was just wondering if the issue is that there's a lot of people who want to be on there, are we limited to just 5?
Usually, in my experience in the past, there hasn't been a lot of interest in serving on the planning commission.
And I said that in my email to the staff, like I completely honestly don't think we would even get any other applicants. Being part of this process where we've had to screen commissioners. So it's really just that I feel like we need a follow-up process.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So, so when we looked this up, there are actually 2 parts in the municipal code related to, I don't want to call them vacancies, because one actually is a vacancy and one is a reappointment. The reappointment, correct me if I'm wrong, basically says if a planning commissioner would like to, after the end of their 3-year term, would like to be reappointed, the process is to submit a letter for the consideration of the council. There's a separate, 2 sections down, there's a separate rule for vacancies. If a commissioner is either unwilling or unable to complete a term and there is an actual vacancy, then the planning director is to open up media and do a recruitment, in which point people that are interested would do what you're talking about. To me, and I'm not a lawyer, So that's a good thing. That means that whoever put that together said that a vacancy is different than a reappointment. And to be considered by council is to be subject to whatever the council decides. And so if that's a reappointment and it's separate, you know, if the intention was that everybody always gets an open, an expiration of a term always gets everybody, I think they would have just said that, whoever set this up. So I think, and it's also the way, if I'm not mistaken, Ann, that's the way that, as far as you know, that's the way we've always done it. Not to say that that's the reason that we should be doing anything, it's because the way we've always done it. But I think what we've done is we've followed the letter of the muni code. So I'll pass it over to you.
I guess I would, I don't think it's clear. So I think that it could be interpreted either way, that either the vacancy process is only intended if it's truly a vacancy where someone is no longer interested or left for some reason. But I think practice has been what's being done today. So, I mean, and I don't think that that's necessarily wrong. I just think the code is not clear and the bylaws themselves don't address this issue either. So regardless of what council decides tonight, if you're interested, I think it would be a good idea to either clean up the code or add clarifying language to bylaws or both, just so that there's a clear process in the future.
So, question. So if I make a motion to reappoint Commissioner Garcia, can I make an amendment to that to say that we look into this and make it more clear? Or would that be separate?
That would be separate, and that would have to come to a future meeting. So I would just suggest that you make whatever motion you make, and then council can direct staff to bring back clean up language at a future meeting.
I make a motion to reappoint Commissioner Garcia to 3-year term.
Do I have a second on it?
I second that.
Been motioned and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No.
Can you clarify who seconded that?
Marcy.
Oh,
I
okay.
said, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I second that.
All right.
It
So
isn't-
motion passes.
Before we move on, though, I do want to just note, it isn't exactly standard practice that city manager weighs in on our decisions. And
I wasn't weighing in on the
No, it was
decision.
your
I was explaining-
interpretation. No, you
Yes,
offered your
absolutely.
interpretation
And I
of the
did-
municipal
I did
code.
mention that I'm not a lawyer. This is just what I read and what I believe to be true.
And
So you
because we
disregard
said the vacancy was your sticking point, so a vacancy to you is a person just deciding they don't want to do it anymore or
Resign.
resigning, but the ending of a term is not a vacancy in your opinion then. 'Cause that's kind of what you hung your opinion on, right?
Sure, yeah, what it says in the municipal code.
So, but the municipal code says 3-year terms, it doesn't say indefinite term, or indefinite reappointment, rolling reappointment, I guess.
Well,
So it does seem
the-
pretty clear.
The council actually does have an option here. You can not vote for her. So she's not being, I mean, the
not
question for the council is, do you want to reappoint her? If you don't want to reappoint her, don't reappoint her. Nothing automatic about that.
Yeah, I think that I would want to ensure that we clarify that language, because if we're saying that a vacancy is only when somebody decides, I don't want this position anymore, then there wouldn't be a term limit. There's a term limit because these are public positions that, you know, people should have an opportunity to apply for.
Well, that would be at the discretion of the council. As Paul said, council could say no, but this council said yes on this particular.
And I do think that the discussion about what the code says and how it should be changed is a discussion for a future meeting, because that's not what we're going to do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, is I want to make sure that it's clarified so that loopholes aren't exploited in the future.
So we should go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
All right. Let's move to L2, a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield accepting and appropriating $60,000 from the Office of Traffic Safety Grant Program. Staff report, please.
Good evening again, City Council, Mayor. California Office of Traffic Safety awarded the Greenfield Police Department a $60,000 grant for selective traffic enforcement. This is a $10,000 increase compared to last year, which was only $50,000. So we're slowly moving up in the amounts that we're trying to acquire from the state. For this grant, it's with traffic enforcement, specifically DUI enforcement, training, overtime, not just in our city, but also working with our neighboring agencies, Soledad, Gonzales, King City, and doing multiple jurisdictional traffic enforcement, especially specific to DUI or any type of dangerous driving. Budget financial impact, none. This budget does run 2 fiscal years, though, from 2024-25 into 25-26. So we do have some time to utilize the money. And that is the staff report. Any questions?
I will open it for public comments on this item. Seeing none, I will bring it back to council comments, review, and action. Any questions? Straightforward, just accepting $60,000.
Yeah. We'll take it.
For sure. All right. I need a motion on this, please. I have a motion. I need a second.
I second that.
Been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. L3, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Greenfield approving the purchase of a drone. Staff report, please.
The Greenfield Police Department seeks approval to purchase a drone from Paladin Drones Incorporated as part of its Drone as a First Responder program. This technology will significantly enhance our response, not just police, but also fire, because it can be piloted by anybody that's been trained to improve community safety, gather intelligence, and alert public safety officials to any critical incidents as they arrive or before they arrive. Thorough research has been done with Paladin drones, and they've been identified as a sole provider capable of meeting the specific technical and operational needs for our department. Unique capabilities include LT connectivity, autonomous flight operations, and FAA licensing, which are unmatched in the industry. Their software, Paladin Watchtower, allows autonomous flight through LTE, which is cell phone, which allows a remote operational and seamless integration with the docking station. We have unlimited pilots, so we can have not just our police officers, but CSO officers, the fire department, maybe even public works, certified to fly this drone for emergencies or flood incidences, or maybe there's something going on with our water plant down south we need better eyes on. That drone can get up there and give public works officials a better eye and overview of what's happening. The features which are critical for our DFR program: enhanced response times, improved situational awareness, officer safety, cost effective. A lot of things can be handled once you get a drone overhead and don't have to respond. It could be kids playing at a play phone or a blue phone at the park in front of the station. The drone can go overhead and we don't have to send an officer to check that out. Parking enforcement, there's a lot that this drone can do. Disaster response, community engagement, transparency, compliance and accountability. The drone is equipped with GPS and tracking, so we know where it's at all times. We know what it's viewing at all times. And it's also future-proofing our department. As drones become standard tool in law enforcement, adopting this technology now allows the department to remain competitive for evolving challenges. And of course, this reflects as a forward-thinking approach to policing. Financial impact: this drone will be paid for by a supplemental law enforcement services fund. It's a grant that comes from the state. It is expensive. Initial purchase price is $38,500. This drone will be able to sustain winds of up to 45 miles an hour, fly in the rain, and have a runtime of about 40 minutes. So it's a big, robust drone. There is a yearly cost of $22,500 for licensing, maintenance, and upgrades. And of course, future costs will also come out of that SLES fund. Justification for sole source procurement: Paladin Drones is a sole provider offering the necessary capabilities for our operational requirements. The proprietary software, hardware ensures that no comparable alternatives exist at any price point. Sole sourcing this procurement ensures the program's timely implementation without delays associated with competitive bidding. Staff recommends the City Council approve the resolution authorizing their purchase from Paladin Drones. This acquisition is vital to enhancing public safety and operational efficiency for the Greenfield community.
Thank you. All right, any public comments on L3?
Stephanie Garcia speaking as a resident. Chief, so you're using your SLUF funds. Are you going to have a balance after that?
Yes.
Yeah, I love the SLUF funds. So does it have, drones have come a long way. I'm not going to ask you if it's armed or anything, but.
No, it's not. It's
not
not.
armed.
Yeah.
But can it be used for filming the Harvest Festival parades and other stuff? And, there is also a new way of doing fireworks shows through drones. So I know that's expensive, but they really have come a long way. I guess my question is the community can it do fun stuff?
It sure can. It's for community events, we're going to have it up in the air. It'll be a show and tell. It's going to be quite large, so it's something a little bit different that you don't normally see compared to the smaller handheld drones.
Right.
It will have a loudspeaker. It will have infrared, so at night we'll be able to see what's going on or hot spots, body heat. So yeah, it'll be pretty fun drone for community engagement.
Because I mentioned this because those of us who went to the screening of the youth people that were just here, they had a lot of drone footage, and it was really amazing. It really showcased the beauty of Greenfield, and it was really impressive. So I love a drone.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Looks like we do have one hand raised.
BDS?
Hi, thank you, Chief Mixer. The drone is a little pricey, but it's definitely needed. And I hope that the council will go ahead and approve it. And thanks for all your hard work and looking into the best drone that our city of Greenfield needs. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Not, I'll bring you back to council comments, review, and action.
I had a quick question, Chief. The maintenance on it, if any, is it the 22,000?
Yes.
Okay.
And that includes a docking station. So it will have a weatherproof docking station that it flies out of and flies back to. That's where the battery change happens and anything else.
Thank you. How big is this?
Oh, it's going to be probably 3-4 feet.
Not the size of an SUV.
No, not the size of an
Not
SUV.
really.
Flying in New Jersey. Yeah, no.
I think it's a substantial amount, but a life is worth more than that, so. Any other questions? I move to approve.
I did have just one more, but we have a motion on the table. So it's a lot of money, but it is coming from a special fund.
Yes.
Right, all right. We've had a lot of firework problems in the past. Is that something that the drone could be utilized for?
It can, and we have to be very cautious in how we do that. I know the city of Seaside used drones to give out citations. A lot of those were overturned because they couldn't point exactly who was firing off the fireworks, not just a residence. So we want to be selective in how we actually use it.
Okay.
And if I may add another note about privacy, we're very conscientious of people's privacy. When the drone is flying through the air, it's going to be looking at the horizon, not until it gets overhead will it actually point down at the indicated coordinates. The recording time, we're probably not going to keep anything more than 30 days and just dump it. We don't want anything that we can go back and look or do anything like that or be accused of that. So obviously privacy concerns are very important and critical to us being successful and being transparent.
Thank you.
And how high do they fly when they're, let's say our officers are out on a call? How high are they flying?
Generally, it'll be about 200 feet off the ground. So it'll be plenty high to keep it safe and not be too noisy. And then it's got a camera when you zoom in pretty tight.
And so when our officers or fire department is out, they are high enough to get a scope of, I'm thinking of like protection for our people who are out there doing the good stuff, that we can also provide some sort of like a halo protection for them.
Yes, overview, seeing what's being approached to the officers, maybe there's a perimeter, looking for specific suspects. Sometimes suspects call people to come pick them up, and their people are approaching. So yes, it would give intelligence so many different ways.
Thank you.
All right. We have a motion to approve on the table. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, I just had a question about once we approve, I think that's where we're going. How long will it take before somebody's trained on using it and it's being used in the community?
Paladin will come on site, do the install, do the training, get all the FAA certificates, because we are looking for beyond visual line of sight flying. So somebody can be at a computer and it can be offline, whereas normally we need a visual observer to see it at all times to make sure it doesn't run into something. But due to the technology, we can sit at a computer or a tablet or a patrol vehicle and maneuver it. So that's going to take a little time. We're looking at about 90 days before implementation.
I'd second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
L4, a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield accepting the Greenfield Wildfire Prevention Grant and appropriate $182,263.74 to fund the forthcoming project. Staff report, please.
Good evening, council. Congratulations to the new council members. My name is Jim Langborg. I'm the fire chief for the City of Greenfield. Later November, we were notified by the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, i.e. CAL FIRE, that we were awarded a fire prevention or fire protection grant in the amount of $182,000 and some change. Basically what this grant is for is to focus in the areas of the Salinas River and in Release Canyon to do fuels reduction and prepare homes, so that in the event that there is a fire, the chance of keeping the fire from going into the structures or the fire spreading into other areas is decreased. We have had fires in both areas, and just for full transparency for the public, it's not lost on us that the area that we're talking about that this grant will be utilized in sits in the unincorporated area. For the new council members, the City of Greenfield Fire Department provides or contracts services with the Greenfield Fire Protection District, so we go out into that area. And if this grant is approved by the council and the funds are appropriated, the city will be processing the bills and the funding that this grant takes care of. So with that said, what we're asking for is for you to approve and appropriate the funds. The last thing I'll tell you is that there is no financial impact on the city other than staff time. So this is a 100% funded grant, just a matter of us making sure that it gets taken care of. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions that you have.
All right, I'll go ahead and open up for public comments on L4. Seeing none, I'll bring it back to council for comments, review, and action.
We have one.
Oh, do we have one?
Gabby?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, I would just like to say, the earlier comment, nobody called point of order. She commented on another community member, which has nothing to do with addressing the council. So I would just like to, make you all aware of that situation, and it shouldn't be tolerated. If I come here, I address you all. If anybody wants to address me, make an appointment.
This item is related to a fire grant, so
I know, but the previous person was allowed to say something when it had nothing to do with what the subject. So that was just, me pointing it out.
Okay, thank you. Looks like we have one more.
B. Diaz?
Hi, I would like for the city to go ahead and approve this resolution. I think it's doable.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, city council comments, review, and action. Any questions? Motion to-
Questions? Did you have a question?
No.
I thought I cut you off. Yes, I can.
I have a second.
Second.
Been moved and second, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Chief. All right, L5, a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield, authorizing and directing the city manager to appoint members to the Community General Plan Steering Committee, provide counsel and guidance for preparation of the city's general plan update on 2025 Staff report.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. Paul Mugen with Community Development. Given the work ahead to update the city's general plan, an effort last accomplished in 2005, over 20 years ago, staff hopes to enlist the help of community members when forging ahead with new policies. As such, staff is asking the City Council to authorize and designate authority to the city manager to appoint members from the community to serve on a general plan steering committee. A few nuances with the proposal is we hope to have as few limitations on it as possible for the purpose of flexibility. For example, issues of importance with circulation are going to draw a different group of steering committee members from the community than folks who may be involved in the cannabis industry. Or similarly, downtown merchants are going to be most interested in issues impacting their businesses. So the proposal as proposed is that between 5 and 15 members could be appointed to just help professional staff with rollout and policy development of the most important document the city has, its general plan. And as you are well aware, we are in our third pass back with HCD and are anticipating certification of the housing element before Christmas. So we're getting ready.
Great. All right, I will open L5 up for public comment. Seeing no public comment, I'll bring it back to council comments, review, and action.
So 20 years is the typical,
That's the length of the general plan.
okay.
How soon do you start appointing?
How soon? First of the year would be ideal. We have a good idea of how we think the development of a plan is going to roll out. So in January is probably good.
And how many? How many you get appointed?
Probably a low amount, 4 to 5 to begin with.
So are we going to put out for volunteers for that, or are we going to approach people, or what are we going to do?
Well, like I mentioned, the hope was that we would have as few limitations on it as possible, because we don't want to waste community members' time either. For example, we anticipate steering committee members serving and leading the committee as necessary. And the hope also is to involve more folks in the community than just one static committee. I envision it as more of a fluid process. To illustrate, for example, the $2 million general plans that are out there are procured with contractors that are very sophisticated. And they come into your city and they gather everybody they can into the chambers, and they have a big workshop and leave. Really does little for authentic policy development. the idea is, for example, 20 years ago, auto repair uses in the downtown was a problem because leaders were trying to create a pedestrian-friendly, resident-serving, and also visitor-serving downtown. But replete throughout the downtown are auto repair shops. So it was decided that, well, the proper approach for such a thing is to make them legal non-conforming. Make them through the zoning process, they're legal non-conforming. Someday, some year, they're gonna go away. But we're 20 years down the road, and so what happened really was you just kicked the bucket down till the next time. Well, next time is upon us. And so the hope in this particular case would be, and we have a lot of new auto small businesses. Get these men and women together in a room and let's talk about it. Talk about what options are on the table, from eminent domain to something other than eminent domain. But there's a range of tools available to address the problems long term. This is just an example. And once policies are established, thank you for your service. Be on your way. Cannabis. We have three chapters of our zoning code that involve the cannabis industry. We've been collecting taxes from them for 7 years now, and I'm sure they all have ideas about how their experience can be a little more efficient. That's the type of process that we envision. Bring a half a dozen of them in, let's talk to them. Some policies are not going to make sense to us, and then others might have some real utility.
That was my next question, guys. Is there going to be a certain criteria that you're looking for the people to say?
We are looking for people that love Greenfield and care about what in the world the city is going to look like 20 years from now, that are wedded to making the city a wonderful community. That's really what I'm looking for. But it would be, I think, collaborative effort between the city manager and community development. And we'll talk these things out, vet things out. Presumably the city council will have something to say about the approach as well through your consultations with the city manager. But we really want high-quality residents or possibly business people who are heavily invested in the community, perhaps landlords that own a lot of housing units might be a good candidate to help us with our housing policies, although they would be more helpful with the zoning code because the housing element is essentially done.
Do we have any public comment on this item? You started right in and asked questions. Seeing none, go ahead, continue your questions. Anybody have any other questions?
I think, I'm sorry, I think I do, but I just don't feel well versed on all of this. All I want to do is to make sure whoever is selected, whoever members are appointed, that it really reflects the population, the needs and wants of all of Greenfield, and that we are very careful that we're not selecting or limiting to certain way of thinking. I just don't want it to be controlled by a few people. That's all.
So am I correct in that basically it depends on the section that you're working on of the general plan? You're going to ask to try and serve on that committee?
Yes.
Okay.
And in response to it, it's an advisory committee to help professional staff to write the policies. We want the steering committee to serve as a liaison between the professional staff and the community, all parts of the community.
Thank you.
And then once that's all put together, then that comes back to council.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I move to approve.
Need a second?
I have one question. Sure. Is it standard practice that when a steering committee like this is formed, that it is the city manager that appoints the members? That's pretty standard practice.
Yes, I believe so.
It is
Yeah.
pretty standard practice. Yeah.
He's the
Do you
CEO.
have any
I mean,
information on that?
I think it just depends, like the city has a, I can't remember the name of it, but it's related to traffic, that the public works department uses. Yeah, and that one's chosen by staff, but I think there are times when a steering committee member is fully chosen by council. It just depends. The trick, when a council forms a committee and it appoints the members, then that committee becomes a Brown Act body. So then they are subject to the Brown Act, and so have to have Brown Act meetings. And so it's a little bit of a different animal, but I think it can go either way.
So we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second on this one?
I second that.
Then moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. L6. Resolution of City Council, City of Greenfield making appointments to the Transportation Agency for Monterey County, Association of Monterey Bay Area Governments, Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority, Monterey Salinas Transit, Royal Saco Groundwater Sustainability Agency, and South Salinas Valley Broadband Authority. Staff report, please.
So each year after the council election, the mayor and city council members select members and alternates to serve as representatives for the city of Greenville on various boards and commissions. Then a list of the members. So what we usually do is we open it for public comment, and then we take one at a time.
I will open this for public comment. L6.
Good evening again. Just for transparency reasons, I would like to know, I know that Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez is on the MSD committee. I know that she's missed quite a bit of meetings. And just to be transparent, if any council member would like to hopefully request it to be put on the agenda for a future meeting to see how many meetings each council member attends, because I counted about 6, could be more. So just to be transparent. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? All right, I'll bring it back to council comments, review, and action.
I'd like to respond. I would hope that an attendance log was kept of Councilmember Ortiz's attendance to TAMC as well, because I think we should, I'm perfectly fine with even producing the emails that I sent to the MST board when I was going to be absent. It was always due to medical issues. I've disclosed before that I've had 6, actually now 7 surgeries since I've been up here on council. So yes, I've been absent. I've always been in communication with the board. I heavily advocate for the needs of our residents. I was at the last senior social regarding MST stuff, so even when I miss meetings, I am a strong advocate for our community. And I'll be at the senior social again tomorrow, sharing, once again, being their spotlight speaker about MST. But I think that's a great idea, and I think that if I could ask that we have an attendance record published of my attendance and Councilmember Ortiz's attendance. Also, in 3 of those instances, I reached out to my alternate, who is Councilmember Ortiz, and she, all 3 of those times, was unable to serve as my alternative, even when I provided a month's notice at one time, which I understand, we all have commitments, but I think that's important to know too, that I definitely make sure that if I'm not gonna be there, there's notice. If it's pre-planned, like a surgery, I reached out to an alternative and my alternate, and that's why we have that process. So, knowing that maybe it's not a commitment that somebody can do that, even as an alternate, because it is during the week, it is during work hours, that it's important that we do consider those things when we accept these appointments and alternate appointments as well. So thank you.
All right.
disagree. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. So, with my meeting with Paul the other day, I had asked for, hopefully, if Ann could put something together, but I don't think we got it. Because, a lot of these meetings, it's kind of hard when you're sitting up here and we start throwing all these different committees at you, and then you try to figure out, am I gonna be able to make this or not, you know? So I was kind of hoping that we would get like a little calendar of when they are and the times, because I know everybody has responsibilities. I'm not sure why I keep getting mentioned, but that's okay. I do recall one time you called me and I couldn't be there. But moving forward, I would really like to stay on the county committee. I've been there 2 years now, and it's a lot to get familiar with. And all of you will, the rest of you gals, you'll see it's a lot to learn. The first year is kind of just listening, and then you have to learn how to jump in, you know, advocate for your city. So I would really like to stay on the county committee. I did attend the Salinas Boundary Cycle. That's in Gonzales, and I did that one for, that's when Councilmember Tipton was doing. It's a really good committee. It's in Gonzales, and I believe it's the third Wednesday of the month. It's at 6 o'clock in the evening. That's kind of nice. But it's a really good group of people. And also, too, being into the alternate, sometimes, you know, being an alternate, you can't attend certain meetings at certain times. I'm a business owner, so a lot of times I have to be at the disposal of my clients. And my clients require, and I'm not joking when I say this, it's probably 21 hours a day that I have to be available. And so that's my livelihood. So sometimes they can't make them. I think I did one county meeting remotely because I was sick, and so they approved it. 2 that I did miss, and the last meeting, I think I was about 5 minutes late. So I do my best. On the county meeting, the director, Mr. Mack, is really good. If you miss a meeting or anything, and then what he does is he checks in with you every couple of months, just to make sure you're on board, and you know, is there anything that you're explaining to or anything like that? And so I've gotten really comfortable there, so I really like to stay on campus.
Just a quick comment for the new people. These are all agencies that either provide funding to the city or provide services to the city, and we have a representative from the council on these committees. Transportation Agency of Monterey County, you said that means when?
Mayor?
Sorry.
I'm sorry, but in the staff report, it has wherever they meet. So it's actually in your packet. So TAMSI, they meet, so I'm sorry, I shouldn't say TAMSI. Transportation Agency of Monterey County, they meet the first Wednesday of every month at 9 a.m. in Salinas. Association of Monterey Bay Governments, that is AMBAG. They meet the second Wednesday of every month at 6 p.m. in Monterey. Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority, they meet the third Thursday of every month at 6 p.m. in Gonzales. Monterey Salinas Transit, they meet the second Monday of every month at 10 a.m. in Monterey. The Royal Seco Groundwater Sustainability Agency, they meet here in our chambers the fourth Tuesday of every month at 4 p.m. And that is the same day as a city council meeting, except it's 2 hours earlier. Salinas, the South Salinas Valley Broadband Authority, they meet usually 4 times a year. However, they haven't met since October of '23. So their dates, we're actually meeting on Monday for a special meeting. And I think they're going to be approving their dates and times, and they meet here in chambers as well. And usually at 12 or 1 in the afternoon.
The county, they meet the last Wednesday of the month.
Oh, the last Wednesday, okay. And we could go by group, by agency, and then we could take it like that, and all that.
Agency for Monterey County. We got a volunteer to serve on that. It is interesting, you do gain a lot of knowledge by your time on various committees. So I would support Rachel being on that.
So currently, Councilmember Ortiz serves as the member, and Mayor White serves as the alternate.
I'm open for somebody to be alternate. And so there are meetings that I meet every month. I'm also on AMBAG at the moment, so I'd like to continue on that. So if somebody like to volunteer to be on the committee. As an alternate, yeah.
And Federico, what day did you say that was?
The last Wednesday of the month. Sometimes they kind of fluctuate, like, we did have one in November, so we had one on the first of December. And I really don't miss. 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
It's at the county building, right when you get into Swimmers. It was an old credit card place. And they have really good snacks.
That's an important.
Yeah.
Okay. So are we okay with that? Do we need to make motions on the
Who is it?
Ortiz and then Carson.
Oh.
I was just confirming.
Yeah, you're just confirming?
I was just confirming Wednesday, 9 a.m.
We have a volunteer for the primary, if that's okay with everybody. Do we have any step forward as well?
So weekday ones, I can't commit to another morning because I would also like to stay with MS students also during the workday, so.
But then, are you interested in that one?
Not unless I can take my little grandbaby.
Okay.
I can only do it after hours, so.
Okay.
Maybe 6.
It's me.
It's you.
I guess it's me.
Don't miss.
I'll be the alternate.
Okay, so the next one is Association of Monterey Bay Governments, which is AMBAG. Currently, it is, the mayor is the member, and Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez is the alternate.
I would like to continue as the primary, if that's okay. Assuming that we get to understand what's going on, so that's okay. But we could use somebody for an alternate.
I'm okay with staying the alternate because you've never even, you've not called on me to be an alternate at all. This is a pretty sweet gig.
It's 6 o'clock and.
Yeah, so I can do that anyway.
Perfect. That works great.
The next one is Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority.
I want to be part of that
Are
one.
you volunteer for the member?
Yes.
And then we need an alternate.
And that's when I need to $100, right?
Yeah.
I could be the alternate.
The following one is MST. Let me see. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez is the member, and Rachel Ortiz was the, I'm sorry, Councilmember Ortiz was the alternate.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I would like to request a different alternate just because I respect that, I know that you have work and stuff, so it's more about being singled out about absences within these committees than having my records scrutinized, but I'm not the only one that has served on committees, so, but I would like to request another alternate if that's available, just because, that we do need to be available for it. When is it?
It is 10 a.m. On Monday. Second Monday of the month. It is real important on, that's a pretty obvious, we really want something on everyone's.
Yeah,
And
a lot.
Yes.
focus on that right now, when the changes are happening. I guess I can step forward as the alternate, not the primary. very much. All right. All right, Arroyo Seco Groundwater.
Right, the Arroyo Seco Groundwater Sustainability Agency.
I've been on that one also. There's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff going on with that.
It's all about water. So it was
Protecting our water. So I would like to continue on that.
at 4 o'clock. It's right before the city council meeting.
It usually lasts half hour to 45 minutes.
And is that something you want? March would like to do
Okay.
You don't miss anything.
Try to make them, but you never know.
That would be Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
And the last one is the South Salinas Broadband Authority.
That's just an occasional meeting.
It's 4 times a year usually. And it's usually, it's here in Chambers. It's usually 12 to 1, and they don't go past that hour. Or you could do that? Okay.
That's really.
And we need an alternate.
I'm back up Marcy, because you live in this.
Okay, so let me just repeat real quick, and then you could adopt the resolution. So TAMC would be Councilmember Ortiz as member, Mayor White as alternate, AMBAG, Mayor White as member, Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez as alternate, Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority, Councilmember Jones as the member, and Councilmember Garcia as an alternate. MST would be Mayor Pro Tem Rodriguez as the member, Mayor White as an alternate. Arroyo Seco GSA is Mayor White as the member, and Councilmember Jones as the alternate. South Salinas Valley Broadband Authority is Councilmember Jones as the member and Councilmember Garcia as the alternate.
Need a motion to adopt that. Been moved in second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Brief reports on conferences, seminars, and meetings. League of California Cities.
Yes, I didn't report out the last time, so I asked to push it to this time. So I attended all 3 days, because Friday was also the last voting day. Starting with that, actually, I would just say that we didn't have quorum. So everybody that stayed and was there was pretty upset because we didn't have quorum. So it was just really a recommendation that we were making, but we couldn't pass anything. So that Friday was kind of a bust. But the other workshops were cool. Bear with me. So some of the workshops that I attended had to do, the ones that I selected that I was the most interested in were regarding homelessness and what some of the communities are doing, and also art programming. I've shared before that that's something I'm really passionate about. So something that was really of interest to me was the city of Rancho Cordova. They formed a community council because some residents had asked for a formation of an arts council, and their city council actually declined, and they said no. And the artists kind of came together in their community, and first the city council said we should do a study, and then they did like a year-long study, and the result was, yes, you should form an arts council, and the city council still voted it down. So the residents formed this very large arts community, and they started just mobilizing and kind of making it happen on their own. And as a result, they decided to start things off small with a small art show. But through their advocacy, they then got the city council's buy-in to expand. They now have an arts and culture center, they had pictures of this beautiful state-of-the-art arts and culture center where they've housed different exhibits, including, they've also hosted Holocaust survivors, internment camp survivors, sports stars. They have music events then, Smithsonian exhibits, historical exhibits, and their art exhibits. So then musicians saw what the artist did, and then they kind of said, well, hey, we want to have like a place for music. And so they started RC River City Concert Band, and that grew to something where now they play at all the community events. They play at the tree lighting, annual tree lighting and stuff like that. And then band said, hey, we want an orchestra, we want strings. And so it was this whole long story just about how the community really coming together for these different things that they want. And now their community has an orchestra with a full string quartet. They have this art center. They host like 100 and something events a year in this place. So to me, that was just really interesting because that's, I would hope that at some point down the road, we have a really rich art community here in Greenfield. So they shared a lot of information about how that happened. And really it started with the residents, but then of course having the city's buy-in and the city council eventually getting on board that the residents wanted this and seeing how much it enriched the city to have these different outlets for the community. It was just beautiful to hear. And then the way that they closed it out is they had us all collectively play a song on these little tools to just show how, we could come together and be a little orchestra too. So that was a fun one. But there was one on housing that I thought was really interesting that highlighted how some cities are, transforming their communities but these are cities, of course, that have a very high number of unhoused people in their community. And so they were sharing some figures that I thought were interesting. So they said the figure, fiscally, it's about $65,000 a year to actually leave someone unhoused. If you factor in like ER visits they make, police interaction, the negative impact it has on tourism and small businesses. But if you actually, and if you put somebody in jail for being unhoused, as is happening in some areas now, it's actually $130,000 per year to have somebody housed in jail. To have somebody housed indoors in temporary housing is only $35,000 a year. So they really went over how, regardless of, if you're what they said verbatim was, if you're fiscally moderate, then you should be in favor of these temporary housing strategies because it is more expensive to keep people homeless. Civic-minded people, you want clean streets. You would also want a program like this, of course. And so a lot of these cities are now adopting these policies where, it isn't you come inside or stay where you are. That's different from saying like, come inside because you cannot stay where you are, which is becoming the reality in many cities where now unhoused folks are getting arrested and all of that. So this all led to just sharing of what they call Safe, Dignified Shelters Interim Supportive Housing is the title of the program. And it's quick build modular units, and it almost immediately led to a reduction in calls for police assistance. They have 1,500 of these quick build modular units, and 700 of the 1,500 people that were in those units, so almost a little less than half, ended up moving into permanent housing. So they really showed how this is a program, because of course the goal isn't to just give somebody temporary housing or for one night, because then they're still in crisis and your brain can't really make great decisions still if you're always in crisis mode. So of that though, 700 end up in permanent housing, and that's the ultimate goal, is for more and more of the residents to end up in permanent housing. So, but they did talk about, that some people are shelter resistant and how they deal with those issues. That was some about the housing. I'm also, I was asked to be part of the I asked to join the community engagement committee, but that one was full. So the one that they had room on was the environmental impacts one, and so I'll be joining that committee moving forward with Cal Cities. And there was a lot about the economy, but yeah, and really the takeaway about the keynote speaker on the economy was that people aren't actually suffering as much financially as like the narrative that's out there, and there was comparisons about how much money people are actually making, and it's more that people are doing a lot more recreation. So when people say like they're struggling, it's like, oh, I can't go out, to the lake, or I can't take this vacation, but they're doing more of that and wanting more of that as part of their regular life. So then it seems like you have less, but it's because you're wanting to do more. So that was a really interesting presentation by a very really renowned economist. And then the closing keynote speaker was Sandy, I believe that's her last name. I hope I didn't get her last name wrong, but she's known as Captain Sandy from the show Below Deck, which was cool to meet because my daughter and I watch that show sometimes, and so she talked just about like being a servant leader and how she leads her crew and through all these situations where they've encountered pirates out in the ocean and stuff, and having to keep everyone calm and safe and making the right calls for people, but always leading being a servant leader. And so that was very inspiring and a great way to close out the conference. That's a lot, I know, but it was a long. Sandy on, yes, Captain Sandy.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Lots of information.
Yes.
Interesting programs out there. All right, Transportation Agency for Monterey County.
We have a meeting September, first Wednesday of September. And we have closed session items regarding employee evaluations. We recognize Supervisor Adams and Mayor Potter, which was their last meeting. So we gave them a certificate of appreciation. We had a budget update, and pretty short meeting this time. Sometimes they can go really long. And on the next meeting that we have, which will be at the end of January, we'll do the appointment of the new board chair, vice chair, and second vice chair. We also have an update on the 2026 Regional Transportation Plan, which is done every 4 years.
All right, very good. Association of Monterey Bay Area Governments, that's me. We met on November the 13th. It was a short meeting also. We heard an updated report on the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan, which will be coming before AMBAG in 2026. This is a report that's adopted every 4 years, has to do with long-range planning for transportation projects. And the staff is reaching out to cities and jurisdictions to find out what the new updated plans are. And let's see, Lance Valley Solid Waste Authority.
I attended that meeting, I don't even know what day it was from, but, so this is for Councilmember Jones. At the next meeting, they selected two members of the board to basically, go through the different people that are on the board to see what appointments that they're going to make. And so Mayor Carbone, is that right? Carbone. She's actually, if she decides to, she'll end up being the president, and then it's a council member from Salinas and a council member from Soledad that will be on that board deciding who the vice president will be. And it needs to be somebody from South County now. And so it'll be somebody from South County will be appointed to that. And then they kind of rotate. And then the next one, when Mayor Carpone's turns up, then they'll go ahead and that person will have the opportunity to should move up to be president. They introduced their Salinas Valley Youth Council, and the youth council from all the schools. Well, not all of them, but I think there was like 5 schools there. And really interesting to get to talk about their different ideas on what they want to do, and all kinds of different ideas that they have. But one of the topics that they discussed was that at the schools, a lot of kids don't know how to recycle. You know, they're like, say they eat potato chips or they have a drink or different things, they don't know how to recycle. So one of the plans is that they're going to do like a test pilot where they're going to make the trash bins and decorate them so then you know what to put in there. And so they're going to start doing that at some of the schools, and hopefully they can have it at all the schools. I didn't see the council in Greenville, so maybe some, you know, we can get somebody to do that. You know? So, maybe something for you to think about.
Yeah.
All right. Monterey Salinas Transit.
I kind of touched on that the biggest important point for our residents here is the board voted unanimously to extend the on-call service until the circulars are in place. There were, I want to say about 6 Greenfield residents that went down there together and spoke very passionately about their need for the service to continue and how their lives could be impacted very negatively if the services end. And so that is passed up until the circulars are in place. But what came about from this conversation was that it was very clear that our residents are confused about what the circular means, you know, that there are still other services MST provides to supplement the rides program or the on-call program, which is what everybody is referring to. But a lot of our residents would qualify for para rides for medical issues, and so we were kind of coming up with a plan to increase awareness of the supplemental programs MST has, and also to get anybody that qualifies for the para rides approved so that they don't have to worry about any of the coming changes anyway. The other thing that was brought up is that the general manager is already working with staff to brainstorm other potential solutions, like a taxi service down here for the South County cities, not just Greenfield. So this is information that I'm going to be sharing at the senior social tomorrow. But yeah, it was approved. We have the support of all of our neighbors.
Great, I'm glad that was approved.
Yes.
South Salinas Valley Broadband Authority said there hasn't been a meeting. All right. Monterey County Mayors Association, we met last Friday. We heard a report from Nick Chulos, who's a representative of the Finance Department with the county. Sales tax measure for the unincorporated area did pass, so they're expecting to raise about $29 million annually from that sales tax. That's on the unincorporated areas of Monterey County. Supervisors have prioritized county roads and critical infrastructure along with emergency response and public safety. So the money's pretty well earmarked. He did report also that the county is going to continue with the hiring freeze as anticipated. It's going to be a really difficult budget for the 25-26 years. They are continuing with their freeze. Salinas Valley Mayor's Managers Group, we met in King City on November 25th. We talked a little bit about joint recruitment efforts for applicants for hard-to-fill positions. We talked about possibly looking into a regional safety officer to service all the cities. The sales tax revenue, sales tax item on each city did not pass. So they are going to have a really tight budget for a while and not going to be able to do a lot of their projects. That was a big thing there. The King City Days Inn project, which is a home key project, which is now fully funded, they said, and they're expecting that to be available sometime in August. So, but they did say that they already have a waiting list of about 50 people for that project. So solve it a little bit, but you didn't solve it completely. So that was the meeting on the 25th. Planning Commission?
We had a project approved across from the Slama self-storage facility on that 5-acre piece. It's very nice. It's heavily landscaped, self-storage with RV parking for up to 64 spaces.
That's on the west side of.
Yes, on the west side. Immediately north of the Pink House.
Okay.
That area. And then we had the ordinance that you passed today.
All right, very good, thank you. City Attorney report.
I have nothing to report.
All right, City Manager report.
The only thing I've got to report is the mayor has asked me to look into, for the new council, team building session for shortly after the holidays. So I've reached out to the people that we did the last group team building exercise with, and I'll let you all know what they've got available for January, February. So I'll be reaching out to all of you. That's it. Thank you.
Earlier the better, I think. All right, with that, thank you very much. You survived your first meeting.
Of many?
They're not all this long, but all right, meeting's adjourned.